What's up, you mutts? It's another episode of the Kevin Clancy Show. Today we got Mark Normand on the show, New York City comic, the dude who said, fuck the trend, fuck all the streaming services, I'm going to put it out on my own, put out his own special. Got 7 million views on YouTube. Completely revolutionized the game. If you're a funny comic who's got the goods, but for whatever reason the streaming services and the networks don't want you, just do it your fucking self, which is, such a Barstool way to do things. We don't need a publication, we don't need a network, we don't need any of that. We just did it on our own, and it ended up being bigger, better, and more profitable than anything out there in the market, which is exactly what Mark did. It probably made, I don't know, anywhere between double and 5 to 6x what he would have made if Netflix threw him some cash for a special. So you got to have the goods, and you got to be funny as fuck, and that's what Mark is. But a dude who is kind of blazing the trail of Happy Gilmore style, just I'll just beat him now. I'll just do it myself. So Mark Normand on the show on the back end for a behind the blog type sit down. If you're familiar with my work, I also do interview series with people from Barstool where we do a sit down interview and really dig into their life. And that's what we did here. So check it out on the KFC Radio YouTube. We officially combined all the YouTubes together, so you can see the video of me and Mark and watch the video of this episode on the KFC Radio YouTube. Subscribe, please. Today's episode is brought to you by Miller Lite. It's the summer of Miller Lite. I'm drinking them all summer long, all fall long, all year long at this point. All year round, it's Miller Lite, because once you've seen the light, you don't go back. I grew up on the East Coast. Wasn't a Miller Lite guy in my early life, just like all the other mistakes you make growing up. One was my beer choice. And now that I have seen the light, it's only Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling, 96 calories, only 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Brewed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where you always must celebrate responsibly. And so if you're going to listen to this episode or kick back and have a conversation with a guy like Mark, anytime you're going to do it, always have a great taste, less filling Miller Lite on hand to do just that. Shout out to Miller Lite, making it happen on this show from here until the rest of 2021. We got to talk about two things first. We got the billionaire space race, and then we got a little inside Barstool talk, because today we had the one and only Tiko Texas come through. And if you don't know Tiko Texas, I will hit you with the entire story of what went down with me and a underground rapper from Houston, because I've learned that, first of all, not everybody who knows Barstool now knows all of our stories. Sometimes I feel like I've been repeating myself, or if you listen to my shit, you know all my stories. And then I have to remind myself that, we've been doing this for over a decade, and there's new people coming in all the time. You could be a diehard, long-time listener and not have been around for the days of Tiko, Texas. So I realized that. And number two, it's truly, genuinely one of the greatest content stories in the history of Barstool, and therefore in the history of the internet. When it comes to internet personalities and wacky shit going down, confrontation, beef, content creation, me versus Tiko versus Dave is, I'll put it up there against anything. We got rap battles, we're making songs, we've got Twitter wars, we've got, South by Southwest video. The amount of content that came out of it is absolutely staggering, so I'll talk to you about it. I'll tell you about it. But first, this billionaire space race, man. It's, on the one hand, the most decadent, opulent, ridiculous. There are people dying. There are people who don't have clean water. There are people who don't have basic human rights or basic, food, water, shelter. And then you got these 3 or 4 motherfuckers who are like, well, I'm going to build my own spaceship and just go to the edge of space just for fun. But you know what? That's the fucking way it works. That's how we go. And yeah, listen, would it be nice if one of these trillionaires just broke off some crumbs and ended world hunger? Sure. But guess what? You don't become a billionaire by doing that. If you're the type of guy to break off crumbs to the poor people, you never make it to the billions. And if you never make it to the billions, you never make it to civilian space travel. And if you never make it to civilian space travel, well, then what are we doing as a people? Huh? What's the point of even living if you don't have the billionaires entertaining you with their own privatized space race, okay? I'd rather be a fucking schlep out here starving who can maybe, turn on the TV like it's a fucking sci-fi movie because we got people traveling to the outer limits of space all by their goddamn selves. We're not talking about astronauts. We're not talking about NASA. We're not talking about the government. We're just talking about guys that are rich enough to build a spacecraft, call up the fucking space air traffic controllers and say, can I go to space? Are we cleared for liftoff? It's fucking insane, man. As a guy who loves space, it's weird. I hate the Elon Musks of the world, but I love space. So I am in quite the pickle, quite the paradox there. So this is great for me because I don't mind the other billionaires. I'm cool with Richard Branson. I'm cool with Jeff Bezos. It's just fuck Elon Musk. I hope he loses this space race. Fuck that guy. I hope Bezos gets to Mars first. The big debate is whether or not you're even impressed by the billionaire space race. Because going to space, quote unquote, means different things to different people. People act like you gotta, step foot on the moon or hit Mars to have traveled to space. I mean, it's not really, technically. You just gotta go pretty high up there. I think he went something like 65 miles up, which was 10 miles higher than Richard Branson did, which is just such a dickhead move. I love it. Bezos just being like, how high did Branson go? Go 10 miles higher. Which is a decent chunk, by the way. It's not like, he just went like one higher. It's not like he pulled an A-Rod when he was like, it is like he paid an A-Rod. A-Rod, when he signed his big contract, he was like, what's the biggest contract out there? 121, whatever it was, 126. He's like, take that, double it. Give me 252. Because I'm twice as good as anybody else. That's going 10 miles higher than the last billionaire. If you just go like a dollar above, you're an asshole. But 10 miles is like, yo, bro, you are a fucking chump. Yeah, you might have gone there first, but I went 10 miles higher. So suck on that Bezos dick. This guy, Jeff Bezos, created a company that's just so goddamn good at mailing cardboard boxes to your front step. He's got private space money. I just can't even wrap my brain around it. Like, there are wildly rich people who the thought of going to outer space in your own spaceship never even crosses your brain. You never crosses your mind. You never even consider the idea of considering the idea of going to space. It's next level money that's fucking bananas. Dude dropped $5.5 billion of his own money for a trip to space that featured 4 minutes of weightlessness. The math came out to around $1.3 billion per minute of actual space travel where you're floating in space. They said that Bezos went just to the edge of orbit, which I think is kind of bullshit. Tommy Smoke kind of said it best. Did he get to the black? Did the sky turn black? Because to me, outer space is two things. No gravity and black sky. So he's got the no gravity. But if he's looking around and it's still like blue and white, like atmosphere, then you just went really high in the sky. The sky's got to turn black for you to be in outer space. That's the bare minimum, okay? Black sky, weightlessness. So if he did all that, I'll give him credit. The people out here being like, who cares? No big deal. I mean, I understand that, from every movie you've ever seen and the sci-fi books that you read, going to space means traveling deep into different galaxies and wormholes and black holes and stepping foot on other planets and aliens and shit. But it's pretty fucking wild that these regular dudes, not regular dudes because they're billionaires, but I mean civilians who are not like government astronauts, just built a ship that can go like 75 miles in the fucking sky. Come on, I mean, we gotta show some love here. Like, you can't knock Bezos for going to space because then that means that everything that you and I and every other regular schlep in the world, everything we do, is fucking meaningless. If you can't even give a tip of the cap and be like, yo, shout out to Bezos, it's kind of cool that you went to fucking space. If that doesn't even get you going, if that doesn't even earn your respect, then what the fuck can the regular people down here on Earth do that's even worth a story? Like, hey, I got to tell you something, man. Well, I don't even care that somebody traveled to space on their own, so your story probably fucking sucks. Bezos went to space with his brother, an 18-year-old who won a auction of some sort, and Wally Funk, who's a chick. Wally Funk? Girl? Crazy. I mean, I was floored when I found out it was an old woman. Gun to my head, is Wally Funk a guy or a girl? You know, I'm saying guy 100 times out of 100 and just getting my head blown off. Wally Funk. So shout out to her. She finally gets to go to space. Who would you be your 4-man crew if you went to space? Again, just for a little dipsy do. He flew up 11 minutes total, 4 minutes where he got to float around and play in space. Ordinarily, I would have to go with my right-hand man, Feidelberg, but you know he's puking. You know he's puking, and then it's in the weightlessness. It's those like chunks of puke that float around the spacecraft. I'm not trying to deal with that at all. As always, when I do these assemble a crew, hypothetical questions, Bartolo Colon. Bartolo's coming with me. He'll be the fattest man ever in space. Imagine that man, that big boulder, just floating around in outer space, laughing like a kid, doing the belly grab and jiggle, all in 0G weightlessness. Bartolo forever on any sort of assemble your crew. I think I'd have to go with Dave Chappelle, strictly for the 11 minutes of jokes. The 4 minutes of weightlessness jokes about like decadent white people spending money to go to space, doing his Mars bit, M-A-R-S, Mars bitches. Chappelle for the jokes. And then, strictly because I want to watch the world burn and I want to see people's heads explode, I'm taking Addison Rae with me. I mean, the girl couldn't take a picture in front of a UFC step and repeat without the whole world losing their fucking mind saying she didn't earn it. Oh, yeah? Well, now she's bypassing the entire astronaut process, and we're sending her to space, you motherfuckers. Astronauts are like the most elite people in the world. They've got to be the smartest, the most in shape, the bravest, the everything-ist to earn the right to go to space. And I'm just going to take Addison Rae because she's like dances and sticks her tongue out. And I'm telling you right now, when I put up my TikTok of me and Addison floating in space doing our fucking dance, oh, I'm going viral, motherfucker. I'm coming back to Earth with more followers than anybody. That's all I care about. Take me to the edge of space and let my followers rack up. I'll have the most followers in outer space ever. Woo! So let me know who your space crew is. But yeah, if the UFC journalist couldn't handle Addison Rae just taking a picture, imagine what they do when you send her to fucking outer space. And for everyone who's gonna knock this space race, like, I trust me, I get it. You gotta give me a little bit more than just like I went to the edge. We need somebody to hang out up there for a while. We need someone to get to a moon or a planet, and it's coming. It's coming. We're at the first step. It's kind of crazy that we're not willing to give it some love, give it a shot. It's almost, you know what? It's very similar to like Logan Paul fighting Mayweather or Jake Paul boxing, where it's like, yeah, it's not the real thing, but the fact that we're even having the conversation means they've achieved something big. Like the fact that you are even saying Jake Paul has to fight a real boxer for me to respect him. Well, he used to just be a Disney kid and a YouTuber. And the fact that that's now your bar for judging him, that's the only way you'll give him respect is if he does something that's wildly fucking impressive. That means he's already kind of won. Same thing, where it's like, well, until Bezos, goes to Mars, then I don't care. Because it's entirely possible, and he's going to pull it off. Mayweather, Logan Paul just even getting to fight Mayweather is a big deal, let alone going the distance and not getting knocked out. All of these things are big achievements that nobody gives any respect to because they're haters. Because they're fucking broke boy haters. You don't like the fact that these billionaires have so much money, they are literally playing rocket ships. It's like, hey, Richard, you want to play rocket ships with me? Me and Elon are going to play spaceships. You want to come? Yeah, that's why it's awesome to be a billionaire, because you get to do things like that. It's like, what would you do with your fucking... Here's what I would do. I swear to God, though. If I ever became a billionaire, I love space. I love all that shit. I would not spend my money building spacecrafts to just go up, down. Not doing it. I would be an international hero. I would be an entertainment legend, because I would take all of my money, and the only thing I would do would be resurrect canceled television shows. Every show, like right now, every motherfucker who watched Manifest when it went to Netflix and just didn't get a resolution, I would come in, I'd be like, bam, here's fucking, $10 million. Get the whole band back together. we're filming another season, and we're going to wrap this thing up with an actual conclusion. Arrested Development, when that was first canceled, bring them back, and we're not talking about the Netflix one. We're going to do it right, like it was on Fox 5 again. We're going to give you the real Arrested Development. Black Donnelly's, you're getting a season 2. That show, Awake, with the detective who couldn't tell whether he was in the waking world or the sleeping world, 5 more seasons of that. Oh, Game of Thrones, you didn't like the ending? Here's $100 million. We're going to film 10 entire new episodes with the original cast and everything, everywhere, and we're just going to do it right. Lost, we're redoing the final 3 seasons. All of that. And I would be a fucking hero. I would be the Robin Hood of television. Steal from these executives and give it back to the people. You fucked up your show, I'll fix it. You walked away because you weren't getting paid enough, I will pay you enough. We're getting back together. This season got cut short, adding more episodes. I'm a fucking billionaire, rogue, vigilante, television hero, making all your TV dreams come true. And crossovers, too. When people were like, oh, man, you know what I really love to see? I'd love to see, like, imagine if you had, like, the cast of Arrested Development showed up at The Office one day. Bam! We're doing it. Boom! We're doing the Bluth Company meets Dunder Mifflin. Let's go. Telling me I wouldn't go down in fucking history? That's the best money you'll ever spend in your entire life. Unless, of course, you're going to Cuts Clothing. That's the best money any man can buy, any man can spend. You go to cutsclothing.com, you buy their shirts, the only shirts that matter. The most comfortable shirts in the game, as a matter of fact. They've got every different cut, every different style. You can get a crew neck top, a Henley top, a V-neck top. You can get the split hem at the bottom, the elongated, the scoop cut. They've got earth tones, plain tones. They got black, white, gray, navy, gray, like everything you need that's just like a basic look. It's going to match with your black pants. It's going to match with your jeans. You're going to look sharp. You're going to look like the billionaires who go to space. These guys like the Musks and the Bezoses and the Steve Jobs before them, all of these moguls, they just open up their closet, pull out a black t-shirt, pop it on. Grab a gray long sleeve, pop it on. Keep it moving. I got to go make billions and travel to space. That's the kind of guys that rock Cuts Clothing. Not to mention your favorite athletes, your favorite bloggers, your favorite entertainers. I mean, everybody out there rocks Cuts now, primarily because it makes your arms look big, look sharp, and it's easy to rock. It's stylish while still being simplistic. It's classic with the monotones. You're not gonna look back on a picture when you're wearing Cuts and be like, oh my God, what was I thinking? I look like an asshole. It's a classic, timeless look. You'll always look sharp. So go to cutsclothing.com/ let me get it right real quick, /Kevin, and get 15% off your order on the only shirts worth wearing. That's cutsclothing.com /Kevin, Kevin. Get your shirt, your t-shirts, your hoodies, and all your clothes at Cuts for 15% off. Cutsclothing.com /Kevin. The story of Tiko Texas, man. I have to tell the story again because Tiko Texas rolled through the office today, and my own coworkers didn't even know who she was. And so I'm thinking, if there are people who work at Barstool and live and breathe this company who don't even know the tale, then there are certainly fans out there who don't know it. So gather round, children, spark the blunt, and let me tell you the tale of how I, Kevin Francis Clancy, ended up in a rap battle with some hood rat, ratchet chick rapper from Houston. It all began with Ariana Grande. I, at the time, was married, or I guess I was dating or engaged, and my baby mama was a big fan of Ariana Grande. And so it's kind of a running joke. I took her to a concert before. We listened to all of her music, the cat ears, the whole thing. The running joke was like, we are an Ariana Grande house. In this house, we play Ariana. So I used to write blogs and tweets about how much Ariana Grande dominated the game. She was dating the rapper Big Sean at the time. And I liked Big Sean, which is the irony of this whole thing, is I actually like Big Sean. I think he's a great rapper. But he was at the center of it because Ariana Grande and Big Sean broke up. And so I wrote a blog, tongue-in-cheek, jokingly, being like, thank God Ariana Grande can now go on to date a true superstar. And what's ironic is, she had a little dip there with Pete Davidson, but now she ended up marrying this guy that nobody knows. But I was saying Ariana Grande is such a megastar that Big Sean ain't shit, and she needs to go find a true A-lister to be with. So I put that blog out, I put those tweets out, and all of a sudden I'm getting tweets from this chick, Tiko Texas. She is a rapper from Houston who also claims Atlanta and Los Angeles and Las Vegas, and she starts talking shit. Fuck you, Big Sean is my fan. Big Sean is my friend, and he's my idol. I'm a fan of his. How dare you talk about him? So the blogger in me is like, oh, this is great. This is going to be a great back and forth on Twitter, and I'm going to have myself a blog to put up some material. Back in that time, I was just a blogger, barely podcasting. I probably had, it's 2015, so I only had like 2 podcasts at the time, and a lot of the concern was always making sure you had enough daily blog material. So I was like, all right, I'm going to milk this. I'm going at this chick on Twitter. She's going at me. She's kind of playing the game. So I ended up having this, and it was just very funny because Tiko Texas is fucking hood, and I'm clearly cream cheese white, and the shit she was saying to me, and the black Twitter like jokes and slang and terms she was using with me trying to play along, it was very funny. So as we're doing this back and forth, Tiko, God bless her dumb ass, she recognizes that she's getting a lot of heat from this. Like, a lot of attention, a lot of followers. People are picking up her tweets. People are following her. People are engaging. So this is the most attention she's gotten, ever. So she starts to lean into it too. And she says, I'm gonna make a diss track. I'm going to battle Clancy. And Dave, at this point, is my mortal enemy. There was a time where KFC versus El Prez was like the Barstool rivalry. This was before Dave became a 100 millionaire and decided to fly on private jets and fuck models and stuff. So it was like me versus him. And so he sees that I've got this internet enemy now. So what does Dave do? He joins her side. I believe, as the story goes, he was paying for her studio time, paying for weed. I think somebody or one of his people or stoolies on Team Portnoy or people who hated me was giving Tiko information because she knew shit about me that's people knew who I was, but she had intimate details about my life and shit. So she puts out a song called Numbers Never Lie, which the beat, whoever made the beat, it's fire. And whoever sung the hook, fire. I'm here to testify that numbers never lie, with this fucking good beat, cool instruments, sounded good, and then Tiko comes on the track and is just an absolute fucking catastrophe. I mean, just no flow, nothing clever, takes a couple shots at me and my then fiance, talking shit about my dog. And so it was this big build-up. I'm dropping my track. I think it took a couple weeks where everybody was tomorrow night, midnight, and the song comes out. So Numbers Never Lie comes out, and it's awful. But Dave loves it. Of course, she could put out anything, and Dave was going to love it to talk shit to me. And so the stoolies are clowning her. My haters are on her side. And so I was like, all right, I'm coming back over the top, and I'm writing my own diss track. And, I'm a big rap fan. I've been fucking rapping in the shower and rapping in the car and in my head forever, I loved 8 Mile. I love white rappers. I love the rap game. I love it all. I think of it, to me, rap is a sport. Where it's I have my list, my rankings of the greatest ever, and are we talking about lyrics or flow or popularity or good songs versus, content versus, all that shit. So, I love rap. And I always knew to myself that I could kind of I could keep a beat and I could rap along with songs, but I was like, all right, I gotta put this to the test and make my own song. So I had a friend of my the mother of my kids. He makes beats for a living, and he had a couple songs. He had almost a Lil Dicky type thing going. He had a band, a boy band rap group that would make funny parody type music, but it was good. Chris McDonald is his name, C-Mac. And I think he had Jam, it was called Jam Rock Records or something like that. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, he had this beat that was, he made it for HBO, for Mayweather Pacquiao, when that fight was going down. It was supposed to be when they're running the vignettes and they're running the packages during the pay-per-view or the commercials leading up. He submitted it for that. It didn't get chosen. He was like, how about you take this track? because the hook was all about getting knocked out. I like this beat. My goal first and foremost was like I want to make an actual good song. To me, when you make a rap record, a battle rap record, you gotta like your lyrics have to like be on point. You have to massacre that person, but it's got to be a good song that people want to listen to. That's like when Drake put out Back to Back. It was like this is a good beat. It's got kind of a hook, and then also the lyrics are there. The battle is there, but it can't be like a lame song. It's got to actually be something people enjoy listening. Now, I take that, I put it with this beat. He had the kid singing the hook was actually on like American Idol at the time. Robbie Rosen was his name. So I got this beat and this catchy hook, and I'm like, I'm not fucking hard hood from the streets, so I'm not going to try to pretend and put out some fucking hit 'em up type shit. I was like, this is going to be a song that people enjoy, and I'm going to come at these people. So I decide the first verse, I'll come at Tiko Texas, and the second verse, I'm going at Dave, because fuck him for backing Tiko. Now, Dave, when when Numbers Never Lie came out, he made a video of himself like listening to like a listening party where he was like, "Oh, this shit goes hard. She murdered him." Of course, like the biggest Tiko Texas fan in the world. So I'm like, all right, fuck Tiko and anybody who rides with her. So I'm putting one verse on Tiko and one verse on Dave Portnoy. So I write a couple verses. I mean, I wrote a lot. When I sat down with Chris, he was like, okay, so you'll do like what, 8 bars, 16 bars, we'll do a hook, and like we're out of here. And I'm like, no, dude. I got some shit to get off my chest. So I wrote like not only making fun of Tiko and Dave, but I included some inside jokes about what was going on with like me as a blogger. I was talking about like Black Twitter and like and a couple inside jokes with Tiko making fun of me and some of the words she used and some of the things that like I was writing as a blogger and a podcaster. So like if you knew me and knew all my content, it was all kind of in there. So I wrote like 2 full verses, but I swear at one point he was like, yo, we got to trim this down. Nobody wants to hear like a 6-minute song. So I put out the first verse on Tiko and then the second verse on Dave. Now Tiko is one thing. It was a different time. There was a couple lyrics I had to change for posterity. Thank God that I did, because I probably would be canceled by now. But it's a fucking rap battle. You're not supposed to be nice. You're supposed to go with people and fucking end them. Tiko, I mean, she owes absolutely everything to me. So my whole verse was kind of like, you would be nothing without me. Like, and she was like loving the attention. I was like, bitch, this is all bad attention. Like, there's no such thing as bad publicity. No, this is bad publicity. They're making fun of you. We're laughing at you, you dumb bitch. So there was that. And then the Dave verse was interesting because, like I said, it's a battle, but also this is the dude that signs my checks. So for the most part, I kept it above board. It was, making fun of his bald spot and his big nose and he was making fun of him for being short and like shit like that. At the time, he turned down an investment in DraftKings, which like turned into $1 billion company. So we used to make fun of him for that, saying that he missed his chance to make all his money. Obviously, along comes Penn, and that's a thing of the past. But at the time, he had made a couple bad business decisions, and he didn't have his rich glow up, so he was still like disgusting. So I made the second verse about him, and I think people were pretty surprised at the song. I mean, there was enough like of my fans being like, yo, I kind of listen to this shit. Like, this shit actually kind of bangs. And Dave eventually writes his record. He comes back. He goes third to make a diss track about me, which Dave, loves to rewrite history and say like his shit goes so hard and mine is bubblegum soft. And it's like he just completely jacked all of Mike Stud's battle with Hoodie Allen. So Mike Stud, friend of the program, now he just goes by Mike. He was helping Dave. He got in the studio with Dave. They filmed it. They had a whole thing of Dave like in the booth trying to rap, and Dave legitimately had to go word by word. Forget about like bar by bar, line by line, rap by rap, rhyme by rhyme. It was like he couldn't keep up with the beat at all. So he would say like individual words, and the poor engineer had to like splice it all together. But he'll tell you like, oh, my shit went so hard and his was soft. I mean, listen, the proof is in the pudding. When those songs came out, nobody gave a fuck about his song. I won that battle fair and square. Anybody who has ears knows that. But it also sucks battling your boss because like he could take some shots at me that he can take as the boss. Certain things that if I would have said probably wouldn't have gone down well. But hey, now that there's like no love lost and everybody, there's like nobody cares anymore. I wish we all just fucking unloaded the clip and said everything we could about each other. A real fucking, some real like East Coast, West Coast violent type shit. But the fact that, and shout out to Tiko, like, I mean, I hate her ratchet ass, but she played a huge part in it. And I think it's one of the most interesting, unique, never gonna happen again type of storylines the internet's ever seen. That was actually a moment that I had like a kind of an epiphany, if you will, of like, oh, we can do anything here. Like, I used to just be a blogger, and yeah, we added this podcast, but like, if I want to make a rap record, I can do that. We can put it out. I have a fan base who's going to listen to it and like it and circulate it. We're doing like hundreds of thousands of listens. Like, there's nothing we can't do. I remember kind of thinking like the pitch to advertising clients and networks and shit should be like, look at this. We decided out of nowhere on our own to have a fucking rap battle with this random person we pulled off the internet, me and the founder of this place. We're going to like, and it wasn't like I never got on the phone with Dave being like, yo, why don't we do this? I'll put a song out. You put a song out. We'll like listen to it. We'll put out video. None of that. It was just like totally natural, totally organic, where it was like she did hers and I was like, all right, I'm going to do mine. He was like, all right, I'm going to do mine. And everybody played their role and it became this, you know, when you think about the other competition we've had in this space, and I put air quotes because we don't really have any. It's like ESPN's not doing something like that. Bro Bible at the time, they don't have any personalities that anybody knows about. Like there was nobody out there that had other names and personalities that you would read them as a blogger, but then also be like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with their rap record too because they're involved in a rap beef with some internet nobody. I mean, it was just. That was a big moment for someone who's always been kind of like pessimistic and like, this isn't going to work. I got to plan for the worst. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll be back in the cubes. I was like, whoa, like when you get the right inspiration, put your mind to it, you can kind of do this shit. And I don't know. It's funny because as a rap fan, I attributed most of it to that. I was like, I've listened to battle rap. I've listened to, clever lyrics and punchlines and I think I can kind of, it was like Costanza in the Frogger episode of Seinfeld where he's like, stop. I can do this. Like, I've been planning for this my whole life. But also, part of it, what I realized is like writing lyrics is kind of like writing a blog. Like when you're gonna, like writing tweets at Tiko, I was like, I'm clowning this chick. I just got to do it like in rhyme form. I was like, I haven't done this before, but all of like my little skill set that I've been cultivating, I can apply to this like right here, right now. So it ended up being like the most, that was the most fun content I've ever had. I was like, this is my dream. And it sucks because Dave at the time he had the office in Milton. He had the cameramen and like the support. So he had the video of him in the booth hanging out with Mike Stud, drinking champagne, pretending to be a rapper. I was just doing it by myself in the basement of this kid's house. I wish, now I would have Nick and the whole gang. We could have filmed it and made our own music video and shit. At the time, it was just me. Like, I remember zipping out to, I think, Long Island he lived on. I hopped in the car from Hoboken, drove all the way to Long Island. And I was like, I got to get this shit done and get back home in time. Because, I was like, I got to get home. The wife's pregnant. We got to, like, deal with that. I mean, it was just, like, part of my job at the time. I was like, I just got to get this done in a couple weeks and I got to capitalize. So, one of the all-time great Barstool rivalries, Barstool sagas. The song I put out is called Second Round TKO, Tiko, like the cannabis diss track, first round knockout, second round TKO. You can listen to it on Spotify if you haven't heard it. Shit still goes, man. Knockout. So go listen to that. Dave's song, I don't remember the name. What was Dave's song called? Do you remember? Dave's song was Rise Page Use Rise. That was his rap name was Rise Page Use. I don't know. I think his was on SoundCloud. I'm not sure where his is. But you can go listen to the songs and judge for yourself. But it was certainly one for the ages. And there's also a Barstool documentary and a Stool Scenes episode of it. So if you search the Tiko Texas KFC saga, you can get the full scoop and hear it start to finish. But go listen to the track. It's honestly my favorite thing that I've ever done. Some people, you're going to call it cringy. I remember, in hindsight, when I should have known things were maybe not going to go great for me in my relationship. I remember I worked so hard on that song, and I put it all together, and I finally get the final product shipped back to me. Her friend was the producer. He's like, here you go. Here's the final product. And I was like, here it is. Like, I'm done. I was like, yo, I've been working on this thing at work. Do you want to hear this song? And I put it on, and within 10 seconds, she was like, oh, I can't listen. It's so cringy. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it is pretty cringy. So some people think it's cringy. Some people think it's like corny white boy. But listen, I think I can kind of spit bars. I think I can kind of flow. So, there's been more, we battled with Rappaport, and me and Nate once rap battled, and Roan, of course, has been in the mix. So there's been a funny amount of rap battling throughout Barstool's history, but what kicked it all off was Tiko versus KFC versus Dave. So go check it out. It is for sure a classic storyline that I don't think will ever be rivaled. Let's talk to Mark Norman now. Mark is on the show. The purest, funniest joke writing comedian, I think, in the game. Oddly enough, the only guy I think who rivals him is his podcast partner, Sam Morrill, on their show. We Might Be Drunk. So there are certain comics who are funny, and there are certain comics who are truly like, oh, your mind works different, And Mark is one of those guys where it's just like the jokes that you write, the punchlines you think of, it is just a whole other level of cleverness and smart. Your brain is just on a whole other plane. And that's why you got to get involved with Fitbit to make sure that your body matches your mind and you're on the peak optimal performance. Mark Norman interview brought to you by Fitbod. I mean, I've actually made a decision that I got to get in shape. And I'm thinking about making it into a content series, because the only way that I'll actually commit to something is if I do content around it. Same way that I'll commit to making a rap record. I'll probably commit to try to get into shape, film it, talk about it, chronicle the ups and downs, and along the way, I will be using Fitbod because it's the only app out there that is a 360 approach to making sure you actually achieve your fitness goals. It's got an algorithm that they use to analyze all of your exercise, all of your dieting. You put in your fitness goals, and it keeps you on track, while also telling you, what to do, what not to do, what to do more of, if you're on target, if you're falling behind, if you're going to achieve your goals, if you're not. And so you set your goals, and you set, your pace and what's reasonable. Because my main thing is like when people are like, I got to work out, 5 days a week. It's like, well, that's not going to happen. So you can set it to be 7 days, 5 days, 3 days, even if it's just a couple times a week. You set up what works for you, and Fitbod will scientifically tell you what you need to do to maximize the results. They've got different workouts. They've got all the analysis. They've got technology that shows you, how to do it so you don't overwork muscles, that you don't get too tired, that you don't fail, that you don't fall behind. So Fitbod is kind of, just like a personal trainer right there in your pocket that keeps you motivated, keeps you going, and helps you achieve your goals. And right now, when you go to fitbod.me, when you go to fitbod.me/Kevin, you get 25% off your membership. That's a quarter off, and that means it's only $9.99 a month, $59.99 a year, and then you get 25% off when you go to fitbod.me/Kevin. Make sure your body is as in shape as Mark Norman's mind is. Mind, body, soul, man. You got to have all three clicking. And right now, I got none of them. So I'm at least going to start with that Fitbod, try to get my body on shape. So go to fitbod.me/Kevin, 25% off, and start hitting your monthly goals today. Mark Norman on the Kevin Clancy Show. Let's talk to him.
Anything I need to know?
No. And we let it fly. You can say whatever you want. There's
All
no
right.
rules. It's very relaxed. It's Mark Norman on the Kevin Clancy Show. You're one of my Spite interviews. So
Spite?
I have two podcasts here, and so this is the one where I want to do like sit downs and talk a little bit more. And I was told, we're not gonna book you guests for this show. It's not big enough, and blah blah blah. And I said, all right, fuck you. I'm gonna do it all on my own. So you're kicking off the Spite tour.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, man. So I
Thank
figured
you.
I want to talk to all the comics and entertainers around here that I really respect. You are one of the ones, Mark.
Jeez, I wish you were my dad. He doesn't respect me, but I appreciate it.
And that's why You are the
comedian.
thriving comedian you are.
You got that right.
You are as cliche as it gets. You have the trauma and the daddy issues.
Bedwetting,
Yeah.
medium penis, need laughs for validation, strangers, I can't connect, I can't open up. Mm-hmm.
Deflect with jokes.
Exactly.
Put up the wall of humor.
Exactly.
Hey, it fucking works, man.
Alcoholism.
Sure. I respect that about you as well.
Oh, yeah?
That you're not that you drink.
Hey.
I feel like so many of the
This is all a few firsts I'm getting. Thank everybody. Like, you got to cool it, man. You're drinking too much.
Listen, you came to the wrong place if you're looking for that kind of talk. I'm going to encourage all your vices.
I can't get it up.
I feel like so many people, I guess it's one or the other. I guess you're either, raging or you're sober. You've given it all up.
Yeah,
but you and Sam, I mean, obviously with We Might Be Drunk, like it's a drinking base. You got Santino drinking whiskey.
Yep.
But a lot of people, I feel like, are out of the game, and you guys are still in it pretty strong. I respect it.
We're hanging in. I mean, Bert Kreischer has the trophy. He'll die.
He's a freak.
He'll die in 2 years, but I mean,
you know
he really
what?
is an
Will
animal.
he?
No, he'll be fine.
He's one of those
joke.
guys, though. Like, I feel like in general, one of my favorite things are the people who say, like, you're gonna get what's coming to you, whether you party too much or you're maybe too much of a loudmouth or whatever. And you know what? That never happens. You don't get what's coming to you. It's like a nice guys finish last sort of thing.
That's true.
Continue being the asshole. You're gonna keep going up.
You're right. Everybody said Trump would get assassinated. He's probably starting a whiskey company right now. He's doing fine. He's at the UFC fights. But Chrissy Teigen though, she got hers, and that was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, you like watching the crash and burn?
Well, I don't like the whole canceling and all, and the ratting out on people and getting mad, but I do like when the cancelers get canceled because you're like, all right, don't you see? This is horrible. Her husband, John Legend, must just be like, Jesus.
Shut up!
Get off the internet for 2 seconds, you crazy coos. We're trying to have breakfast.
I love that she tried to quit the internet. It lasted like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
and then had she left, I think the real canceling happened after she resumed. So she had it. She was riding off into the sunset and then ruined it. I just don't understand the people who, when you have the skeletons in your closet and you still throw those stones,
Good
you're
point.
very much like aware you're in the glass house.
Good point.
And you're throwing them.
Yeah, I think
maybe
that's
you
why
black
they
it out.
throw.
You blur. You don't remember it. You think it's his fault?
No, it's overcompensation. That's why it's like the senator who's like, God hates fags,
So
and
it's
then he's
happened.
like, where is all that energy coming from? It's got to be, it's fueling him to say God hates them.
Yeah.
But it's all internal. I mean, how many super woke people do you know who are like, racism, and then you go through some tweets and they're like, hey, Asians eat dog, and you're like, all right, what's going on here?
Right.
We're all flawed, we're all fucked, and we're all full of shit.
Do you think that we reach a point where that we accept that? Do you think the pendulum ever swings back? Do you think that we all put our cards on the table, or do you think that this just continues?
I think because everybody's like, cancel culture. I think it's just social media. It's all it
really
is. That's what it is. It came out of nowhere.
And Twitter specifically, really.
Twitter, you get clout, you get high fives for ruining people, then you call them out, and it's so seductive that they don't even remember their shit. They're like, and then they feel superior. So now they're like, oh, not only am I better than you, sure, I've got some shit in the past, but I'm better than you right now. And you're like, yeah, but that shit.
The past is that's what I just can't understand. It's like, you're canceling me for something from the past.
Yeah.
And you've got your own shit in the past.
I know.
And you don't delete it, you don't clean it up, you wait until somebody finds it.
And where's the compassion? When somebody somebody says the N-word in 1981 at a baseball game because his son is a horrible pitcher or whatever, and it comes back, it's like, okay, well, can't we let this guy apologize and move on?
Grow, learn, change.
Yeah.
No, it's cutthroat. But at the same time, I also say, like, the internet's not a nice place. It never has been, never will be. It's used, it was used for porn and, yelling at each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so if you're looking for compassion and you're looking for a forum to have a rational discussion and learn and grow, it ain't the internet, and it certainly ain't Twitter, bro.
No, and it scares you because it lets you know how fucked up people are.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's kind of like a copy machine. It's this genius invention, a Xerox machine, but in 20 minutes in, somebody's going to put their ass on it and take a photo or a copy.
Yeah.
That's how people are. We got sick, twisted. You learn when you're a kid and you go, hey, we're learning French. You go, what are the curse words?
Right.
That's just where our brain goes. We want to go to the labia. We want to go to the gash. We want to go to the slurs.
Right. Well, that's comedy too, though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Your brain is geared in that way.
Of course, yeah.
I sometimes
Boobless.
forget that.
Remember the calculator? Boobs. That's
do
where we go.
Do you remember the how you get to boobless?
No,
It was like there was once a girl who weighed 69 pounds, and that was too much. So she went. Let me see if it works. Where's my phone?
This is amazing.
Because there was like there was like a tail that went along with it. Because you could tell the story.
This is
so
great.
ready? It was.
This should be on the SATs.
I think there was a girl who weighed 69 pounds.
Yep.
And that was too much. So she went to Dr. X to have surgery, and that took 8 hours.
You're
and when
blowing
she
my
came
mind.
out, it's not it, but it was like something
Okay,
along
okay.
that. It was like 69 pounds. She wanted to weigh 58 pounds, and you hit the answer, and it said boobless, and in like 4th grade, it was like, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
But see, you just taught us a valuable lesson that if you use these fucked up boobless or whatever, kids can learn. You're 74 years old. You still remember that. So I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Instead of pushing it down and go, hey, this is bad, let's use it for good.
Or use it for the good and don't, crucify for the bad.
Yeah.
Let it. There's going to be gaffes. There's going to be fuck-ups. There's going to be,
Of course. We're human.
Right.
They say woke is a religion, but there's no forgiveness.
Well, all religions, there's no forgiveness in any of this. There is. You confess, you say you're sorry, you're good, but then also you're going to get eternally damned. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I forgave my priest.
Congratulations are in order, right?
What happened?
Did you not?
Here I
did
came
you not
out?
pop the question?
Oh yeah,
Bro,
right.
you
right.
just proposed.
Oh, right.
Like 2 days ago, and you're like, wait, what happened? You had me thinking maybe I fucked it up, and you didn't.
I didn't
you
think
popped the
anyone
question.
cared. Yeah, he's a nice guy. No, I just, she was really pressing me, and I said, yeah, she's a great
That was
gal,
my
and
question. Was it I mean, I don't know anybody.
I've been with her forever.
I don't know anybody who proactively, preemptively popped the question. Like every guy I know was like, I'm on a deadline. I'm on a clock here.
Sure.
Were you feeling it?
Well, I pushed that deadline 800 times, but I don't know.
You're filibustering.
I'm getting older. I got nothing to offer anybody, and she likes me, and I can't believe it. So I said, yeah, she's great. I love her and all that. So yeah, why the hell not? Why not her?
Oh well, because pretty much all marriages, crash and burn.
That's
miserably.
true.
That would be the why not.
Well, I got on one knee and I said, hey, will you be my first ex-wife? And she got a kick out of that. No, not really.
No.
She's a good egg, and I'm happy, and it's exciting, and it's a fun time. But here's the clinker. You give a gal a ring, and it's beautiful, and nobody tells you the ring is hard to find. You got to do a lot of legwork, and then they're like, all right, well, we got to do an engagement party. Where are we going to have the wedding? I'm like, oh, I thought I was done.
Brother, that's exactly what I remember thinking, because I had to save up the money.
Yeah.
I had to plan it, get it right, and I remember thinking, my job is done. I've done my part, not realizing it's the beginning, not the end.
Are you married?
I'm divorced. So I was in and out, did a little. I had a couple kids. I'm out, but I will say, brace yourself, because the wedding planning, I feel like was a year of engagement. That was it was a tough, that was the beginning of problems, because all of a sudden it was money and family and all this shit that I was like, well, wait a minute, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. So brace yourself.
Oh God! All right, well.
Yeah, no, we I think it was like a 15-month engagement, because we wanted like a date. I got proposed in like a June. She wanted June, but there was nothing that year, so it ended up being a whole thing. And then we ended up doing that October. So, long story short, the longer the engagement, the more stress I think you're gonna.
Well, don't you feel like the more people, these people have elaborate weddings with a fucking elephant comes in and a guy's juggling fire, and you're like, you're not gonna last.
Yeah, I mean, we did it big. And it was awesome.
There you go.
But the whole time, I remember being like, boy, this is going to cost us quite a bit. And like, what are we, was this the royal couple? Like, what do
it goes back to overcompensation. If you have to put this much fanfare into your matrimony here, how much do you really love each other? Because it feels like you're kind of subbing for something else.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
how did she?
Same with the internet. They post, I love my husband so much. You're like, oh, you're
now you know what though.
Mailman.
See, I got accused of that, because once we got divorced, it was very public. It was an ugly thing. But it was like, I was never posting things being like, I gotta like fake this. It was like in those moments, it was a beautiful thing. There were good times. There were great things. And I think that sometimes people do forget that like not everything in the whole world, not everything is black and white, but specifically there, it's like there are good times and bad times. And just because you saw the good times doesn't mean there's bad times. And just because there were bad times doesn't mean there was no good times. And, everybody tries to judge off of, I've seen your Instagram and I've listened to your podcast, so I know everything about you.
Exactly.
Although I will say, I think on my podcast is when I maybe am like the most honest I've ever been.
Really?
Sometimes I feel like when everything happened with my marriage, a lot of people were surprised, but my like diehard listeners were kind of like, yeah, we knew like, you weren't happy or there was some problems. Because I feel like there is, maybe I'm doing it under the guise of a joke or whatever, but I'm kind of laying it out there. That's my therapy.
I like that. I feel the same way, and I think the same is through text. People say, text, you can't connect with anybody. What about whatever happened to real conversation? I'm like, I actually get way more out honesty with text, because I've been like, hey, Dad, I feel like we're not connecting. And
you would never say it to his face.
I could never say that to his face, so thank God for texting.
I think texting is the greatest tool, asset, whatever. The greatest thing to happen to sex is texting.
Ooh.
Because I think that you can open some doors.
Interesting.
And ask, literally maybe, ask for some things, explain some things that you like that, again, you would never be... you never have the balls to say it to her.
Great point.
But also, it's one of those, you ever send a text message, you throw it across the room, and you're like, I hope they like it.
Yeah.
You ask her on a date, or you ask her to do something, whatever, and you're just like, and then you see she wrote back, and you're like, one eye, kind of like, I hope it's not bad. And I would never say that to their face.
Yeah, that's funny you say that. My gal is pretty shy kind of lady, and in bed she'll ask for stuff, and I'll be like, mid-pump, like, what was that? And she's like, no, nothing. And I'm like, well, we're already here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, come on, just say it.
Yeah,
just
repeat.
say it.
I just couldn't hear you. It's not that I don't want to do it. It just slipped.
Yeah, I was too busy grunting and the queefing. I couldn't hear anything. But she'll be like, nothing. And I'm like, well, come on. But I bet in a text she could get it out.
Is she does she like and watch and consume all your comedy and your podcasts and whatnot?
She did. I think the bloom is off the anal at this point. It's just like, yeah, I've seen it. It's fun. I think girls are interesting, not to generalize, but they're
dumb.
Well, they should go back in the kitchen. No, they just they like men for so many different reasons, and we like women. Like, we're shallow and boobs and butts and all that, but like, I've noticed a girl will be like, I like your friend. And I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, he's so funny. I love the way he writes. And I'm like, yeah, like she'll see a hot guy and then be like, I got to go watch him on stage if I really know if I like him. That is fascinating to me. We're very lucky in that way, men, that women can see past just our disgusting sack and hairy nipples.
Oh, thank God.
I know. We're so lucky.
Like, if it wasn't for them stupidly falling for humor and personality, never would get laid.
Oh, never. What, are you kidding? That's why I hate when guys are like, women have all these feelings. Like, yeah, those feelings are why you're getting laid. You think you're getting laid based on your hips?
Yeah,
your
man.
Shitty torso queef?
And you think, too, I always say, like, the cruel joke that God or this divine creator or whatever, the person who decided to put your dick on your hips, basically, where you have to move, if your dick was on your hand or somewhere you could use it, it would be easy. But now all of a sudden I gotta have rhythm, I gotta be able to move. Of course I suck at sex. It's stuck to the middle of my body.
Right, if my dick was on my foot, I could really
bow.
Yeah, come on. It'd be like, my foot would look like Conor McGregor's ankle after it'd be broken.
I remember first growing up not understanding. I always thought it was kind of like a your dick kind of goes up, and the hole's kind of underneath.
The same way.
I thought it went in. I thought it was like a belly button.
I thought it was right there too. And I saw a girl pee for the first time, and I was like,
forget it.
What is this dark arts? Oh my God, this
and
sorcery.
And then your mom was like, get out of here. It's like,
I had to wipe my face. But yeah, the whole thing was crazy. Yeah, I thought it was right there in front because the bottom is so strange.
It's the whole thing, and they're so near each other, the two spots.
Yeah, that's odd too. And
it's a fiasco.
How do you not eat the ass? It's right there. You're next door.
By accident.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, whoops. I feel like the first person to eat ass was an accident.
Yeah, well, I put it in on accident. I put it in.
Sure, that's what I mean. All these things have just, and it's like, well, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Why not?
There used to be a thing called porno oops. and it was just porno bloopers. And one guy it was like an amateur porn. A guy's banging his wife on the couch, and he pulls out and he puts it, and it pops in her ass. She's like, ah! And he goes, oh God, sorry. She goes, I've always wanted to try it. Fuck it, keep going. I remember being like, this is so
See, that's
great.
the text message moment. In that moment, she was basically texting.
There you go.
Leave it in. Leave
yeah.
it. Did you find it difficult to balance comedy and your relationship, either like time-wise or content-wise? Have you ever like changed your comedy or alternate or censored yourself or anything like that along the lines for the relationship?
Not really censoring, but should I say fiance? What do you say now?
Yeah, you probably should. You say girlfriend, you're gonna get in trouble.
Okay.
Wife to be?
Yeah. So
Ball and chain?
She's just like, hey, as long as I'm in the joke, great. Just let people know I'm around. She doesn't.
Really?
You can call me a whore or the N-word or whatever you want. Just make sure I'm in the joke.
So she doesn't want you being out there known as like a single guy.
Right. So
Interesting.
she's cool, and she likes comedy. She'll dabble in comedy. She does comedy. She has podcasts. So she's out of the gate. I was like, this is it. I've lost so many girlfriends because they're like, what are we eating tonight? I'm like, oh, I'm doing
going
a
to
show.
work.
Yeah. I'm on the road every weekend too. So like all the
Interesting.
good girl, husband, boyfriend time is gone with a comedian. You're gone every weekend, so trips are out. You're working at night, so no more parties, no more dinners, all that shit. And these poor ladies and some men have to be like, yeah, like they'll go to a party and they're like, well, where's your guy? Where's your gal? And they're like, oh, he's working.
Every night.
And that gets old, after a
right.
while. And I feel for these partners.
Well, that was my problem too. Was this job, and it was a part of it. I think was the Barstool was blowing up basically as my relationship and then marriage was supposed to be like growing and all that. Yeah. But it's weird. Like, have you ever either in your relationship or social life, family life, whatever, as you've started to really blow up and get more popular? Like, did you expect that? Did you know it was going to happen? It's been a long road.
Wait, what did I think? What was going to happen?
That you were gonna like make it and start
God,
selling
no.
tickets and start being like,
No.
now's the time I got to put the pedal to the metal for my career. So
Yeah.
over here I'm not gonna be at the family event. I'm not gonna be at the event with my girlfriend. I'm not gonna be because I think you gotta like. If you know that's going to happen, it's almost like when you're a professional athlete. I feel it's like just have your marriage after your career.
Sure,
but that's because you know it. You've been drafted.
Yeah.
You know it's about to happen.
Right.
Stuff like this is like you don't know when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen.
Great point.
When it does, you've got to be willing to put everything into it, and so it's hard to decide when or if that's going to happen.
That's a good point there, Fatty. I think you're completely right. You're good because you're kind of comedy adjacent.
Yes.
So you have one toe in the normal guy pool and one toe in the psycho pool.
Right.
Which is very rare and a good place to be.
Well, it's either a good place or the worst place because you're just ripped. I mean, really, that was like the downfall for me. Is I remember saying like, I'm just going to be a normal guy. I got this cool job where I can like write about sports and chicks and fuck around. But I'm just gonna like get married at the regular time, have kids at the regular time, and guys like Portnoy and people who are a little more like he was like, I'm gonna be rich and famous, like it's happening, and so he like had I been a little more confident in that it was gonna happen, I probably would have done things very differently and said like, listen, we can do this later, or like we'll get married later, we'll have kids certainly later. But I didn't necessarily, I'm always like a little pessimistic. I didn't think it was going to happen. I was kind of hell-bent on being normal when I probably should have just accepted, this is not a normal life. Comedy's not a normal life. It's probably the weirdest of lives.
It's insanely weird, but I like that it's weird. Yeah. I don't want the normal life. Have you heard that old story that these band members, they're flying to a gig, their plane crashes, they're in a field, they're muddy, they're wet, they walk over, they see this beautiful cottage with like some smoke coming out of the chimney, and this beautiful family's eating dinner, and one of the guys goes, how do people live like that? And then it's a Seinfeld story, but it's such a great representation. Like, yeah, this is hell. We're schlepping around, we're bombing, we're getting heckled in fucking Long Island, but I'm not going to work in a cubicle and have, changing a diaper and all that shit. So I'd still prefer this, but for me, I grew up pretty kind of weird upbringing, blue-collary, whatever you want to call it. I was a furniture mover, I was a janitor, I was a busboy, I did all that shit, I got low self-esteem. So to me, just not having a day job was the win.
Was the goal.
That was
100%,
it.
me too.
I don't even need to be these huge, Seinfeld, Bill Burr level. I'll probably never be that, and I'm okay with that. I just like comedy. I want to be good at it. And I live in New York City. I got a decent apartment. I got a big-breasted lady and a cool cat and a couple of podcasts. And
Good to go.
I'm good.
Now, and are you saying that, or you really mean it? Like you are like genuinely content with it? You're good? Because I think there's a lot of
content.
people who say that, and I don't know if they actually, they want it to be. They want more. They want the podcast to be bigger. They want the movie role. They want the money, the fame, and they say, it's okay where I'm at. But to truly, I think that acceptance of like, you've got to be ambitious. You got to keep grinding. But I think to me, the poison is the comparison. Is always because there's always going to be somebody bigger, better, faster, stronger, richer, whatever.
Compare and you will despair.
I mean, here, specifically, there's people at Barstool. We were alongside each other. This guy blew up more. This guy's more famous. This guy's richer. And then outside, and you'll never be content or happy if you always compare.
There's a healthy version of that. You can kind of see where the tides are going and the wind's blowing. You go, okay, that's what's what. I wouldn't mind having that. All right, here we go. But I've done a lot of things. They say never buy your dream car, which I actually just did. But
what was it?
It's a metaphor. I got pull it up if you can. I got a 2002 1973 BMW. But
beautiful.
Also, you got to remember, this car is 50 years old or whatever, 40 years old. I can't do math, but it's like a beater, I got to put new seats in it. It needs all this new shit and springs and manifold or whatever. But like, that's the key to life. It's the journey. It's keeping it moving. If you buy everything and get everything, if you go full Whitney Houston, you're gonna die in a bathtub.
Yeah.
So you gotta keep going. And so you go, look at this guy. He's Jim Gaffigan's performing for the Pope at the Garden. Oh my God, I'm such a bitch. I'm down at the Chuckle Queef in Milwaukee. I don't know. I don't need that. So like, once you get that, then what? I like the idea of writing good jokes, writing good comedy, having people like it, and then working my way up that way. I don't want to just like be rich and famous. Like a lot of guys are trying to get on TikTok and just pop in one night. That is, you're gonna kill yourself. Yeah. That's a waste of life.
You're also gonna look like an asshole.
And you're
gonna die looking like an asshole.
And you're gonna show up to some gigs. It's gonna be sold out. And you're not gonna have an act.
Absolutely.
Also, so I like the idea of taking it slow. I just want a slow heil. Not a full. You don't want to just rock it to a heil. You want a slow heil. And we're all gonna die one day. And what are you gonna show for it? And the work should keep you happy.
Yes.
Oh, I gotta get this joke working. I gotta get this bit, this hour killer.
I think you are one of those comedy purists.
Yes.
When I think
purist.
as I've gotten to know the comedy scene here in New York through the podcast and through our guests, there are people who are doing comedy, and there are people who are comics and comedians. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I feel like you and Sam are on that. There's like the David Tell, the comics. You guys love the jokes and the writing of it and bombing and figuring it out. And some people are I want to be rich and famous doing the jokes. You're like, I want to do the jokes. Yeah. And I think that's the huge difference.
And then people go, look at David Tell. He's single. He's 60 years old. He's miserable. He's wearing all black. He's smoking, whatever. But like, they go, yeah, I know, but you have a family and all that. But just because you have a family and 6 kids doesn't mean you're happy.
Yeah.
This could be a nightmare. That's his happiness.
Let me tell you, if you got a family and 6 kids, you're not happy.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the Jackson 5.
Yeah, the shift, I think we need to shift that mindset of happy or normal or what. And I think it kind of is happening. I feel like when I look around here, and these guys are like early 20s, so I have interaction now with like my generation, a little bit older, and now we go all the way down to like teenagers and early 20s. I feel like these guys are the first generation of people that, in my conversations with them, they truly are like, I don't need to get married, and I certainly don't need to have kids.
Yes.
For me, it was like I wasn't like, my dream as a little girl was to grow up and get married and have kids. But it was always just like, that's what I'm going to do.
That's what you do.
That's what I'm going to end up doing.
You go to college, you get married, you buy a house,
there was a chance I was going to be, when I was a kid, I wanted to do sports broadcasting, ended up doing some finance, then ended up here. But had I done any of those things, what also would have happened would have been family and kids.
Completely.
Wife and kids. It was just, that's what you do. And I think this is the first generation of like, this is maybe what I do, but maybe not, and that's okay. I think I just read the other day that like the baby having generation right now, which I think is like the millennials, is the death rate's higher than the birth rate or whatever.
Yes, exactly.
So I think they're just like, no, we're not fucking having kids because everything's too expensive. We don't have any money, and I don't want to do it. I want to pursue my dreams.
Yeah, I think kids are way more selfish than they. I mean, first of all, I think kids are smarter. They're more compassionate. They're way more knowledgeable because there's the internet right there. But they are more selfish. And how could they not be? Everything, it's like my profile, my account,
how many
face,
followers.
yeah, all that shit.
Yeah.
So it's not even their fault, but suicide is way up, anxiety's way up, depression's way up, but...
Well, it's the internet. you know,
the internet,
when you grow up on the internet, you have a chance to achieve your wildest dreams, meet everybody in the world you could possibly meet, but also
your
you're
life
going to be
ruined.
You're gonna be berated and lose followers and go viral for the wrong reasons. Or I got my kids are young. I just told the story. I got she's 5.5, and then my boy just turned 4.
Wow.
So
Good ages.
and the 4-year-old we're trying to get him off his pacifier. He use the pacifier at night. 4's a little late. We were kind of getting lazy. We're like, it's time to fucking go, pal. You're gonna be like at your driver's test eating the pacifier.
Oh yeah, you got a real cuck on your hands here.
So I get a text from their mom. She tells me last night that they were in bed reading books for bedtime, and he's upset about the pacifier. She says 4-year-olds can't have pacifiers because the babies need pacifiers. We got to give it to the baby. And she says 4-year-olds don't have pacifiers. Shay doesn't have pacifiers. Mommy doesn't have pacifiers. Daddy doesn't have pacifiers. And then my 5-year-old daughter chimes in, and Spanish people don't have pacifiers.
Good
and I'm
point.
like,
Good
oh, the internet. I don't know where, I don't know how or why, but she's on the iPad all day long, and something popped up about Spanish people, and she's now,
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, the internet is. But at the same time, she also can do sign language of the alphabet. Shit that I literally don't know how to do. She's telling me she's quizzing me on things she's learned on her iPad.
There you go.
I'm like, you are smart because of the internet. You also might apparently hate Spanish people because of the internet. So we got to figure this thing out. I mean, the internet is, and if you grow up, you come out of the fucking womb with an iPad in your hands.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's scary.
Which is awkward to get it out of the hole. The baby's breech and the iPad comes out. But I mean, it's.
But we're in a transitional period in history because the internet is so prevalent. Is that a word? Prevalent.
Prevalent.
It's just
ubiquitous.
Right there. You can't ignore it. You can't deny it. Every kid's gonna do it. Everybody gives their kid an iPad, but we don't even know the side effects yet. And they're there.
Coming.
They're happening. I mean, you can see the world's. We're in a pandemic, quote unquote, but it's all loosey goosey right now. I mean, Ronnie Chang's got this great joke. We're going to look back at Twitter like it's cigarettes. Like, you used Twitter when you were pregnant? It's a great joke.
Dude, I have a feeling they're going to be like, can you believe that humans used to just be on the phone
I know.
12 hours a day?
I know.
Of course their brains melted. Of course they became violent. Of course they became whatever.
And that's what schizophrenia is, just having all these crazy thoughts at once. And we're doing that to ourselves. We're just like, boom, we're putting it in us, and we like it. Like, I'm at the red light, like, I got 4 seconds.
Bro, we were telling
Anal, semen, pedophilia, it's just like coming at me.
I was
fights.
editing a video while driving the other day on my phone. Like, things that you just shouldn't be doing. But I also, I'm in the shower grabbing my phone.
I do the same thing.
I have a little like shelf that I put it on.
Yep.
I'm putting on the podcast. I'm listening. I'm like, let me just check Twitter real quick. In the fucking shower.
Crazy. It's gross.
Like, dude, come put it down for one fucking minute.
But then when there's no stimulus, just the bad, weird thoughts start creeping in. Like, maybe I do like my aunt. She does have a hell of a body, And then, so you're like, give me the phone.
Yeah.
It's like a pacifier.
It
That's
really
what it is.
It's an adult pacifier. That's so
really
true.
is.
And I mean, it's...
At least we had a life before it. Thank God we had a life. Well, how old are you?
I'm 36.
I'm 37, so yeah.
I call us the greatest generation. fuck the World War II vets,
Yeah, you killed a few Nazis.
Big fucking deal. I always say that the people we are, and I apologize for my longtime listeners because I say this all the time, but this is I believe the pillar of my existence here on this world is we are old enough to know a life before it.
Yes.
Where you didn't have porn and entertainment and social friendships, all that at your fingertips.
Oh yeah.
So we work for it a little bit. We know that life without it, but we're also not morons when it comes to technology our parents are. We did pick up the internet. We did adapt.
Sure.
Maybe we can't do TikTok and Snapchat,
Right.
we're savvy enough while also remembering a time without it.
Yep.
Because kids now are spoiled and they don't even realize it. And a little bit before us is your dinosaurs. You got eaten by the internet.
Yep.
And then we are here and we are the ones who we proliferated the internet. We grew it. We're the greatest. We are the most. We are like the missing link of technology.
Yes, it is a valuable tool to be able to kind of toggle back and forth and go, remember that, and then look at it now. But I think just like with, I'm going to try to get this right. People who invented the iPad and the iPhone, they played outside as kids.
Yes.
So you got to remember, they didn't have that, and they still invented it. And I think eventually, how old are you? 25. Okay.
She's a pup. These are pups. This kid's 22? 21, 22?
Okay. Anyone else hard? But no. So I think with you guys, maybe the generation after you, because you guys are already deep in the pool, but the generation after is going to go the other way and go, fuck technology.
We're going
reading
out in the woods.
books. We're going out to the woods. We're going
Interesting.
to cook on a fire and all that shit and have conversations and stories and all that and turn the phones away because everything kind of flippy floppies and it's going to go the other way, I think.
Well, you know what's interesting though, and maybe this is just me rationalizing it or defending my disgusting phone usage, but I believe the most important thing in life is interaction with other people.
Yeah.
I don't think it's reading a book, great, but I think I'd rather have a conversation with someone. I'd rather interact with someone, meet people, learn new things that way. And the internet is amazing for that. And you got to weed people out. You're going to meet a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
But the amount of guests I've gotten to have on my show that I've met, the amount of people that I've just, I have internet friends who are important people in my life now. And the stuff you read, the people you interact with, that I think has made me into a more well-rounded person, more educated, more cultured, experienced. So I don't think of it as a bad thing that I'm on the phone interacting with these strangers. It's weird.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. Ultimately, I think good.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately good too, but just like everything else, a gun is good because it protects your family, but then you start shooting cans and then you shoot your sister in the eye. So everything's it's like fire. Fire has kept us alive, with cooking food and keeping us warm, but then it also burns your granny's house down when she's smoking grass. So it's all over the place.
My grandma used to bootleg cigarettes off the Indian reservation.
Really?
She used to get Kent cigarettes by the fucking box because, they were tax-free or whatever like that. Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
She loved them. She had a kinship with the Native Americans because of that. Yeah. Killed her, put her in her grave. But
did they?
I mean, well, not the cigarettes.
Oh, I thought they scalped her. Holy shit, you scared me there.
I should have just gone with that one. Yeah, no, absolutely. Tore her skin off, chopped her in half, bone tomahawk style.
Right.
But yeah, I think the internet, to me, also is like if you could snap your fingers and just be one of these people who's ignorant, not in a negative way. Ignorance is bliss. They are just completely peaceful with their, their home and their wife and their kids and their 9 to 5 and
that'd be great.
And sometimes I think I sound condescending when I say it. I don't mean that you're not ambitious, but you're not, you're just I am what I am. I don't need to really strive to be more than that. And because I think that's where the internet comes into play too.
Yeah.
When you were, a couple generations ago, you have access to the people in your town, and that's really it.
Yep.
You marry the girl who's pretty enough, the guy who's good enough, you have the kids, you have the house that's decent, you work in the few jobs that were available, and that's that. And you're just happy. Now, that's your calling card, by the way, huh? The burp.
Oh, sorry, a little semen in the burp. But no,
I love the burp.
You got
every podcast I've ever heard you burp.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. I might have
Don't
a problem.
you give me the really.
I don't know about everyone.
You fucking know that you burp.
If I have to burp, I burp. I fart, I fart. I queef, I queef. But yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think, I had a point and you threw me off.
Yeah, the burp threw me off. I'm sorry. But I was saying, the people who are just content with all that.
Oh, yeah. They say these towns in India where everybody's dirt poor are way happier than us. They're way calmer and more relaxed, stress-free. And we're sitting here, your daughter is I got to get a picture of my tits to the hot guy at school, and then they're not big enough, and then I'll get surgery, and maybe I'm a lesbian, and is scissoring real? So yeah, there's it's like a diner menu. You go to a diner, sometimes you're like, there's 38 pages. Should I get the Clams Casino or the Eggs Benedict? And then you go to some diner, it's like, we got toast, pancake, egg, bacon. And you go, give me that.
Yeah,
and that's it's an easier life. You move on, you eat your shit, you can leave.
You go to McSorley's Ale House, they get dark and light.
Exactly,
You know, there's no
exactly.
fucking 30 things on tap with
Right.
an IPA, this, that.
Exactly.
You want a dark or light, and you're
many
a pussy if you
options.
order light. You know.
Right, right. Options are a killer, and comfort is a killer, and all we do now is invent things to make us comfortable. Hey, you can cook, or you can go Grubhub. Well, they'll bring the McDonald's to your house.
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Right.
You're so fat and lazy, you're
can't
already
even
eating
go.
McDonald's,
Yeah.
but you can't even go there?
Right.
Kill yourself.
But I kind of love it.
But we also love it when you're hungover and you're shitting blood. You gotta get that McDonald's in you. You're not gonna go pick it up. Put it in my ass. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, how far are we gonna go? You know, you used to have to go to a bar, pick up a girl, get shot down, maybe make out with her, maybe she grabs your genitals, and that was a process.
That was awesome too, though.
Well, when it worked.
Did you do online dating or
Oh, yeah.
app dating?
Oh, I cleaned
See,
up.
I never did it, and I guess I could have even after the divorce, but I just never did, and so sometimes even when I'm joking, doing podcasts, telling jokes, I have to like check myself because a reference to like getting a girl's number at the bar is dead, man. I mean, it just doesn't.
Yeah.
It's just not a thing.
Oh, it's considered creepy.
Right.
It was like,
you
that was
approached a stranger and like asked her for her number and tried to talk to her, because now it's just like I swiped, we connected, we met, we fucked right away,
Right.
and now, I feel like it's so much easier.
Oh,
You know?
my God.
And again,
they don't know
greatest
what they
generation,
got.
they don't know the struggle.
They don't know the struggle. I mean, obviously, cavemen, you grab a girl by the hair, you bring her in the cave.
The good old days.
And then it just kept going, and then it was... The classy move is like go up to a girl at a bar, you buy her a drink, you get the number, then like 2 days later you called, and 3 days later you date, and it took 6 years, and then you had to marry her because that was it. But now it's just this, I see friends.
Four times a week.
They fuck all these girls, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. But
I do think the
comfort's a killer.
It used to be.
It doesn't mean anything to them. They're
Right,
just like, yeah,
right.
fuck
You didn't
Susie,
earn
I
it. You
fucked
didn't
Betty,
try.
yeah. And I'm like,
I
you
mean-
fucked Betty? What was it like? They're like, I
Yes.
don't know, I don't even remember it. I'm like, what? You don't remember it? I remember every girl I've ever seen naked.
Ever, yes.
Ever.
When it was like you had to go to a bar and fight for the chance to get laid, it was a process, and you earned it, and you told war stories,
Yes,
and you
yes.
felt even just getting a girl's number.
Oh,
and I'm like,
what a feeling.
I got my flip phone, I'm closing it, and I'm like,
You just
she's-
look at it.
She's never gonna call me. She's never gonna
No,
respond. But
but
this little
that's a
battle right
win.
here, I won.
That's a win.
Yeah, like she didn't completely shut me down,
Yes.
kick me out, slap me in the face. I won, and
the-
it felt good.
And the girls were into it too.
Yes,
like it
they
was
wanted
a
to be
courting
wooed,
process.
and,
yes.
and they want the attention,
Exactly.
or just a free drink, or whatever.
How about this
And it was
one?
fun.
You ever have this one where the girl comes up to you at a bar and she goes, I've been waiting for you to hit on me all
Yes,
night. You're like,
yes.
what? You were?
Right.
You thought I was gay. I had no idea you even noticed me. Oh my God. That was like the
Amazing.
gimme. That happened once every 10 years.
Right.
Yeah,
It's like,
those
oh, you
were nice.
already like me?
Yes.
You know, like
I don't have to
in.
lie to you 100 times. Oh my God, I'm in.
And now instead, it's like I had sex 4 times this week with 4 different people
Yeah.
because it was in the bag before we ever even saw each other face to face.
Exactly.
Which
Exactly.
again, comfort, and it's all good, and I wish you the best.
Sure.
But you're not gonna know, what went into it.
Yep.
To get there. And
Completely.
it's just more. Like what's the next iteration of it where it's like,
Yeah, we're gonna have inventions
how much
now.
easier can dating and fucking get?
It's pretty
Pretty
easy.
much as easy as it gets
Yeah.
now. Short of like
Cosby.
just straight up process. Yeah.
Yeah, Cosby they had it the easiest, but I think soon they're gonna have
Never
some-
any backlash or pushback on that.
No, he's a terrifying human being, and it scares me that he's doing gigs. But it's
Is
great.
that true, by the way?
I don't know.
Like
He's got
he's-
shit
yeah.
booked. I don't know who's going to see him. I guess Harvey. But
Dude, if anybody wants to just bomb those clubs the night he's in
Yeah,
there, just wipe
please.
all those people out.
I don't know what
Those
club
people
would
aren't
have
necessary.
him. Which
Yeah,
psycho's
that's
like,
what
oh,
I mean.
we'll book that guy.
The clubs who hire it, the people who work it that night, and the people who are there to enjoy it, wipe them off the face of the earth.
Yeah, that's crazy. And it gives comedy a bad name. Blah blah
Yeah,
blah. But
yeah.
soon we'll have a thing where you inject it and you're just ripped.
Oh,
And gyms
sign
will
me up for
close.
that.
I know, but it's gonna
Yeah.
be the fun part is putting that bar up, and you got the guy's balls in your head, and he goes, one more, and you go, I can't, and he goes, come on, he calls you a gay homophobic slur, and you go, all right,
I can do it.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, baby.
Yeah, it's gone, man. It's
gone.
And also, the continual, the rising, that process of starting here and getting there.
Yeah.
If you just get there right away,
Ain't
then
it? That's-
I always say
I know we're a bunch of boomers here, but I'm just
I know
saying.
we sound old as fuck,
I'm
but-
giving you the secret to happiness, you goddamn queefs, but you're not going to listen. You're going to take the easy route. I know it.
Yeah, no,
Look at
he
this
is.
guy.
He
He's
is.
bored out of his mind.
Here's what I say. My thing is that life is a swimming pool, I say. In that.
A lot of drowning babies. And no blacks. Come on. All right. We're having fun, folks. That's the great part.
Comedy!
Comedy will never go away because you can't put a joke in a computer.
Yeah, it's true. It's facts. You think that
Sorry.
you think that artificial intelligence will ever tell jokes?
No, I mean, they will, but they'll be horrible.
You know, that'll be good. The day that there is some computer that can tell a joke better than you, you're fucked.
I'm
dude.
fucked. I am fucked.
Because you can't cancel a computer either, or you can, but then it's just like next one up.
That's
whatever.
true. It's a good point. Yeah, but
They have these artificial influencers now. Have you seen that?
No, what's that?
It's weird. I wish I don't know the name of it, but a girl sent me a Instagram link of like it looks like a person, an Instagram page. It's all fake. And it's curated to be like the post I saw was like, check out this baby picture of me, and it was a little baby that kind of looked like the same face of this like teenage-ish girl.
Yeah.
All of it's fake though, and it's just like this is all curated to these are the type of things that people will like. These are the photos they want to see, the videos they want to see, but the person isn't even fucking real.
I'm
mean,
not
if you're
surprised.
following an artificial Instagram account, you are a fucking loser who should kill yourself.
But what if
Straight
you
up
don't
kill
know?
yourself.
What if you don't know it's fake?
I guess. Well, then you're an idiot.
I guess, yeah.
But
We've
I
all
say
seen
the swimming pool. I say, what I wanted, me and I think a lot of people want a house with a swimming pool.
Yeah,
right?
that's the goal.
And then you get your house with a swimming pool, and you never fucking
Never
swim.
use it.
Whenever
Never
I
use
had a
it.
pool, I never swam in it.
You're right.
And it's like, what was even the point of digging it up and putting it in and getting the money to earn it? And so I say, swim in your fucking pool. Like in the moment, enjoy your fucking
call.
pool. Or change your, or don't aspire for the swimming
pool, yeah.
'Cause that's clearly not what you wanted, because when you
Right.
have it, you don't use it.
Great
so
point.
either
Great
understand
point.
what actually motivates you, or when you get there, when I started this, if you told me I would be doing this, I would have been like, I would be set. I would be so happy.
Yeah.
And I'm here now, and I just want more, and I want what's next.
Yeah.
And, part of that, I think, is a healthy level of ambition. Part of it, I think, is like, you're a sick fuck who can't appreciate what you have, and the grass is always greener, and all that kind of shit.
Well, everything gets old immediately. You're like, oh my
So
God, I have
fast.
a kid. Then 2 days later, you're like, he won't shut up.
Throw it out.
Put it in the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just how we're wired. Everything just gets old. Oh my God. We went to the moon. Fucking Richard Branson just went to space. We're like, what's on Hulu?
How about the alien stuff? Nobody gives a fuck.
Nobody cared.
It
But
used to be the most important mystery, and now it's
Yeah.
like the government's like, yeah, we don't know, and everyone's like, nobody cares. What's going on TikTok?
If the alien said something racist, it would be the biggest news. But if
That's
it's here,
what
nobody
we
cares.
need. Everyone. I say to people, what is it? We've got the video now, albeit not high def, but we got the video. We've got the Navy saying we don't know what it is.
Yes.
We've got confirmation that it was made of materials not of this earth.
Yes.
And nobody cares.
Nobody
and I
cares.
say, what will it take for you to care? A racial slur
That's
or
it.
a homophobic slur.
That's it.
Or something from the alien. Cancel an extraterrestrial.
The alien said tranny. Shoot it. Shoot it down. We got to get it. But it's an alien. Shouldn't we see it?
Send the
we say hello?
woke culture into outer space.
Yeah.
That's the final frontier for them.
That's
Go
what we care
cancel
about.
ET, man. That's crazy.
You know why? Because if you nail the alien, you feel better. But if an alien's just there, it doesn't help your ego at all.
Right.
That's what it all comes
What
back.
do
It's all
you bring to the
narcissism.
table for me, alien?
Exactly.
Yes, it's
exactly.
all me.
The alien fat shamed. All right.
What do you...
That's the new fun thing when people lose weight and then people attack them. Have
Yes.
you seen that, like Adele or the other lady?
Adele looked great.
I
And
know.
everyone was like, what, you're too good to be fat?
You can't win.
You really can't.
Yeah.
You really can't, man. So I before we sat down, I just checked one last time. At the moment, your special's at 6.9 million.
I know, we're right there. I want to
Right
get to
at
that
7.
Yeah.
We got to get it to 7, so we'll put out the bump. That one, which one is that called? That's
called Out to Lunch.
right? Out to Lunch is at 6.9 million, and I believe I say it's just a fact at this point. It's the poster child. It is the
Wow.
case study, the experiment, the gold star of fuck the streaming services. I didn't need them. I'm going to put it on YouTube, and we're going to do well. Because there's a lot of comics
Thank
that
you.
try to do that, and
Yeah.
they put up some views. They don't put up 6.9 million,
I appreciate it.
And you and
was
your partner in
terrifying.
crime, Sam, did
Yeah.
the same thing. Sam Morril put out his special and got millions as well.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Because that is, there's no better example of like the free market of the, put your money where your mouth is, the proof is in the pudding, whatever dumb euphemism you want to use.
Right.
If Netflix passes and Amazon passes and everybody passes and you put out your special on YouTube and it does, 50,000 views, well, they were right.
I appreciate it.
They were right. You did it, and it was like, boy, were they fucking wrong, huh?
Thanks. Yeah, the results are really what feels good. Like I'm doing a Netflix half hour in October, and it's exciting and all that, but like, just seeing the amount of people who watched it and the comments are great. Like, how could nobody buy it? Like, that is really what does it. Because the numbers don't lie, So we've all seen some Netflix specials and some HBO specials. Like, how'd this guy get this? This guy's a fucking hack. Who's this weirdo?
For sure. Now, I think having a Netflix special doesn't mean anything anymore.
It doesn't mean anything.
It used to be like, oh, shit.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Bill Burr.
Any special that was on Netflix was going to be good.
Yes.
And now it's like, I'd say the majority are not.
Oh,
it's the opposite.
So bad. But it's all a business. Everybody's got to cover their ass with the checking boxes. We got to have a little of this, a little of that. Yep. We need a guy in a wheelchair with one eye who's half trans and part Asian and Muslim.
Yep.
Or whatever it is. And I get it. We're trying to spread the anal here, but I don't know. We also like funny. There are funny minorities, by the way. I don't know if you've heard of them. There are a lot of them. Why don't you just use them? But they don't care. They just go past that and they go, Brown, bring him in.
Well, I thought you would have the Jewish angle, but somehow, some way, you're not Jewish.
I wish I
Mark
was.
Norman, you got the look, you got the humor, especially in New York. When I found out you were a NOLA guy, I was like, wait, what?
Born and raised, baby. Yeah.
New Orleans cat, not Jewish.
No, I wish.
So now you're just a regular white guy.
Yeah, I know.
And it's hard out here to be a white male. It is a difficult struggle.
It's good in life. It's bad in comedy.
And everything.
Right now.
Well, I yelled at Feidelberg yesterday. I said, would you just come out already? You're basically fucking 90% there.
Yeah.
And if you were just openly gay, we'd get the Spotify contract tomorrow. It'd be a straight guy and a gay guy from Barstool talking about what we talk. $60 million. Here you fucking go, man.
There you go. Yeah, it's a kooky time, but thank God. I bitch about the industry constantly because they're clueless and cowards. But thank God we have the internet, and we have to just focus on that good part. Because we have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have all these things we can use, and podcasts, and let people find you.
Bypasses everything.
Bypass.
I mean, the amount of gatekeeping bullshit that used to probably go on with agents and network execs and shit, and if they didn't give you the green light, you're fucked.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I'm gonna go. You gave me the red light on this path. I'm gonna go make my own. But what's funny, is you are the poster child for it. But how many guys said like they're wrong, and it's like, no, they're not, because it didn't.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like you proved them wrong definitively with how funny it was and how well it performed. Okay. But that does feel like at the moment it's still the exception. Whereas a lot of people, it's like Amazon and Netflix were apparently right, because it's like if you invented Facebook, you would have invented Facebook, right? It's like if it was really that funny and people really wanted you, it would have been bought.
Yeah.
And most people, I think, are still like, I think that means you have work to do. Why do you think you didn't get sold or bought? Sorry.
I just think I have no juice. I'm not like Aziz or.
Do you think it was like an ethnic thing? You think?
Well, I'm sure that factored in, but I think I'm not a name. I'm not a fucking. I got.
But you're not a name until you become a name. Because of a Netflix special.
So I had to make myself a name.
It's very circular.
It sucks.
Though.
I know people who are 26 years old who have this is my third, fourth hour I'm on, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I've done an hour on Comedy Central. I've done a half hour on Comedy Central. I've done all this shit. I've done 8 Conans, Tonight Shows, Colbert, whatever it is. But I still have no oomph. I got no juice behind my name. So when I go, hey, how about this? They go, why you? What do we care? And I'm like, well, it's good. And they don't care about that anymore.
But so how do you think you get oomph?
I think I made my own oomph.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have to make their own oomph.
Do you think your oomph now is that you are the guy who got 7 million views on YouTube?
Yes. Yeah, that's all I got now. Right.
Because there definitely is, there can be a ethnic, social, whatever version to it.
Of course.
This is the funny black guy, this is the funny gay guy, this is the funny trans woman,
My
whatever
agent will say that. If you were black, a woman, I could sell this tomorrow.
Right.
But sorry.
Right.
And that's just the reality, and I'm okay with that, and I'm trying to work around it.
But then I think also, so there's that.
Yeah.
Then I think, let's say within the realm of just like white comics, that you can have the oomph. It's like, I don't know.
You got to make your own oomph.
You got to make your own oomph.
And it sucks.
But how do you know, it's like, oomph is, you can't get that at Wawa.
It's hard. It's scary.
It's happen. It has to,
and it could fail.
Oomph happens naturally, but in order to get there, you have to make it. So how do you make something natural when you're making it. You know what I
I
mean?
know. You take a shot in the dark.
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Sam did a YouTube special, but Comedy Central is behind it. And they have 5 million YouTube subscribers. I had 60,000 or something.
That's what's
so I was like,
remarkable.
That's
about
what's
it.
insane about it. So that's why I'm so lucky, and that's why I'm so grateful. But I had to make this oomph just to get where other people got for being
Right off the
comics.
bat.
Right
Yeah,
off the bat, yeah.
yeah.
And I get it, and I know times
Were you
are changing.
resentful?
Of course,
Yeah.
but the key is I just want the acknowledgement. That's all I want. I get it that it's not my time and blah, 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 but like, just go, yeah, you know, it's because of this. That's all I need. I get that it's going to be harder. I get it's going to be a longer path and whatever. Just tell me that because you make me feel crazy.
Right,
and that's
right,
what's
right.
hard. Just tell me the truth.
Well,
Take me in a
especially-
side room with a cigar and go, yeah, come on, you know that.
Right.
And then let me leave.
For sure, I hear
That's
you.
all I need. So
Instead
when
of
you
telling
say it,
me,
it's
we
nice.
love you, it's like, well, then why didn't you fucking buy it? You know?
Yeah.
Every
'cause
audition, we love you. It's just not,
Right.
you know, what?
my agent is a black woman, and she's like, oh, this would really help if you were this, or this. And I'm like, wow, okay, so that helps that you
at
say
least
you're a
we
black
know,
lady.
Yeah, we're being upfront about it.
Yeah.
Especially when your shit is undeniably funny.
It's the
And
only
you
way to
know it
get
too,
in.
right? I mean, you
Oh,
know
well.
you nailed that special.
Dang, well, you know,
Right?
you get the laughs there. You can't argue with the
And
laughs.
then the laughs, the views, the comments, same thing with Sam as well. It's like this, you guys are joke writers, joke tellers
Right.
in, you know, like the most cutthroat city in the world, rising to the top. It's undeniable. So then you must know it's politics or timing
Sure, of
or
course.
economics or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Does that give you solace or does that make you more mad?
Oh, well, it's just,
Better than not being funny, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
also, it's like, well, fuck that. It's like, you know, I got the jumper. I can. I'm faster. I'm stronger than everyone. I don't get any playing time. But at
it's-
least you know you're good. I don't know.
It's more like, shit, these are the obstacles. How can I get around it? That's
Yeah.
really what you got to focus on. Because we could
Right.
sit around all
You could just
day
stew and be a pussy
have a
about
clan
it.
meeting and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
do this and that and this. But like, I go, damn, that does suck. And we commiserate, me and Sam and Joe and all these other guys. And we go,
Yeah.
oh, this sucks.
Yeah, Joe List is on there as well.
Yeah,
right? He's one of the guys.
got 5 million views or whatever. He's killing
You
it.
guys are the Avengers of like fuck you comedy.
But then the fucked up part is when you do make it or whatever, people go, oh, you made it because of this. You're like, what are you kidding? You still
Fuck
can't give it to
you.
me. I had
Yeah.
to fucking eat my own ass to get here. But whatever. So
Did things change after the YouTube video?
yeah, big
Yeah.
help, big help.
Ticket
A lot
selling,
I
like,
shake
all that?
hands after all the shows. I go, hey, I saw the YouTube special. That's why I'm out tonight. So thank God I have a new hour because it's a whole
Right.
new set. But yeah, a lot of change and people have never heard you before. You read the comments, never heard of who's this guy? Where'd he come from? I'm like, I've been doing it 15 years. But that's all part of it, you know. It's the
You know what?
the
15's
breaks.
not all that. You know, when you hear some of the other stories, 25, 30, 50,
Right,
like,
right,
you
right.
know, you got plenty of time left, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
People say, like, you're doing a Netflix ad, you're going to give them a half hour, but what are you, crazy? I'm like, look, it's a gamble. I'm taking a shot. I'm trying the Netflix thing.
When is that?
That
You know?
shoots in August, so it shoots in like 10 days and comes out in Halloween. So
Okay.
it's a hot half hour. It could just get lost in the shuffle. Joe List did one. Not a lot of people saw it. It was a bummer. But I did the YouTube. I've done the comedy, so let me try Netflix. We'll see how it goes. I could burn a whole half hour. That was extremely hard to write during a pandemic. But we'll see how it goes.
I feel like you, Joe, Sam, who else would you put on the list? Are you the three that like
there's
really?
Joe Mackey, and there's a million.
You guys should
Gary
do.
Veeder.
What we should?
Mike
Barstool
Vecchione.
should. We'll
Nick Griffin.
produce and distribute or whatever, and it'll be like 5 or 6 of you, and you all do. It'll be like the Kings of Comedy, Blue Collar Comedy Tour,
Right.
And you guys will just be like, we're the funniest fucking comedians.
Yeah.
That first, you know, you'll be the white guys, right? We're the straight white guys. This
Right.
is the funny straight white guys of the world
There
who
you
aren't getting
go.
the look, and we'll put it out and be the funniest fucking 3 hours of comedy you've ever heard. Because you guys are just the funniest, purest comics out there.
Well, I think that's why we like sports. I mean, look at MMA is so fun. I'm not a sports guy, but I love MMA because it's just, I think I'm better than you. Well, I think I'm better than you. Well, let's see who's
find out.
better. Yeah, and the whole world watches, and it's great. And after the end, they go, all right. It's the only thing in life where people hate each other and then
kill
go,
each other, literally.
let's hug it out after.
Yeah.
I mean, Twitter fights, no one hugs it out after.
Right.
You know, because it's just like, faceless, fuck you, I'm
Yeah.
better. And there's no closure at all. But at least a
Right.
UFC fight, I go, you got me.
Yeah.
You know, except for McGregor, who's a bit childish. But yeah,
I
what a crumble.
I lost, like,
His ankle crumbled like a condo in Miami.
Hey, comedy!
Yeah.
Comedy! I can't. I'm out on him now. I feel like.
I like it. I like it.
I thought that was such a bad showing. I don't care about the fighting.
Yeah.
Which wasn't great either. And you break down. I'm all about the mic skills and the jokes and the shit talking. And I thought it was such a subpar performance from him on that front. I didn't think any of his shit talking was funny.
It was a
and
true
I like
beating.
Poirier to me is a pretty cool guy, like a
Yeah,
stand-up
yeah.
guy. So it was like I think I'm kind of liking this other dude better. He's American, all that. And I'm a fake Irishman. I I pretend to be Irish on St. Patrick's. And I am Irish, but I don't live and breathe it. But when there's an Irish guy, I'm like, all right, I'm on your side, and then I'm gonna kill you and your wife in your sleep, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. But I don't care because he was always that guy. To me, I'm like, oh yeah, he's just being a crazy
I guess
Irishman.
it's just funnier and better when you're winning. You know what I mean?
That's what it is.
It's easier to be
That's what
funny
it
and talk
is.
shit when you're on top. You
Yeah.
know?
I like that he's gone completely off the rails, and because it's truly a beating. Like, not only did he beat you in the ring, but he beat you mentally.
Right.
He got you.
Right.
He got
and
your
you're
number.
showing he's going around town on his scooter, making excuses and shit.
Yeah. And it's all sad. I mean, his wife must be like, all right. His wife's like John Legend. Like, all right, we got it. Enough with
Can
the
you
shit
throw
talking.
hands?
No, I've been beat up many times.
Have you?
I hang in there. Like, I don't go down easily, but
What was the last time you fought?
Oh, probably college or something. But I've been knocked out I got knocked out in college once and pissed myself on the sidewalk. That was a real eye-opener.
Because of you were shit-faced or because like the knockout?
It was
like,
just such
you lost your whole...
I saw white and I woke up and I was covered because I just lost control. Yeah, I was lucky I
Woke
landed
up by
on
yourself?
the lawn. I was with like 5 guys, and I woke up and they were fighting, and I was just off in the bushes, like, "Ah." My girlfriend was like, "Oh my god!" It was pretty humiliating. Yeah.
I probably would have dumped that girl right after that, to be honest.
No, she was supportive, but
she could be. I would have been like, "This is a preemptive breakup because you will never look at me the same way again, and I won't look at you the same way." Knowing you saw me get knocked out and piss myself.
I had a
and now you're getting
whopper,
married
too.
to her, so it's
no, that was a college gal, but yeah,
Did you?
she
Yeah,
was
you
great.
had that.
Oh man,
that hematoma, whatever they call it.
Yeah, it looked like a big boulder on my eye. I couldn't open it for like a week. But I feel like that was a big part of childhood was like you could get knocked out at any time. I guess now kids are worried about getting canceled at any time. But like you could just get knocked out at a party or a bar or a parade or whatever it was.
You lived a pretty hard life if you were just always getting knocked out, bro.
Well, maybe not knocked out, but punched in the face. Weren't you scared of getting punched in the face constantly as a kid? That was a huge part of my childhood.
No.
Really?
I
Oh
don't
my
think
God.
I-
Maybe it's a Southern thing. What are you, Philly?
New York.
Oh, you're a New York guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Long Island?
No, the Bronx.
What? You weren't
Yeah.
scared in the Bronx? I thought
don't
the
think
boogie
so.
down Bronx. I thought it was the whole thing was
I-
violence and Yankees.
I guess I was a Mets fan growing up in the Bronx, so I was always behind enemy lines. So there was a lot of like tense moments.
Yeah.
Only been in a couple fights, my entire life. Didn't walk around always fearing getting knocked out though.
Really?
No,
Oh,
Mark,
man.
wasn't my thing.
Maybe it was a Louisiana thing.
Have you won? What do you think your record is if you had to break it down?
I'm probably like 20-2.
You're fucking with me.
Wow. I mean, some are just melees where you're like, gee, who are these guys?
But
So-
you've been in 20 plus instances of throwing hands, fighting, throwing fists.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was
Good
a
for
big,
you. I
big
like
bar
that.
guy.
Yeah.
We just got, a few fights I was in, I didn't even know it. I woke up like, geez, what happened to me? My fucking ribs are all bruised up. I
Good
was a
for
blackout
you.
guy.
That's awesome. Well,
I mean, it was pretty
this
horrible
guy
at
just
the
told me
time.
he's a blackout guy who wakes up with unidentifiable bruises, but I think that's awesome. But I do.
I thought that was normal.
I honestly think it. I maybe I'm the pussy here. I don't think
No,
it's necessarily
no,
normal.
it's not a fun
but
way to
I
live.
think it's.
I'm not saying I'm some tough guy
No,
by any
no,
means.
but-
I've lost a lot, but I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of running. A lot of like, I don't want to lose my bike today.
Right.
A lot of
these sneakers are staying on my feet.
Yeah,
brother.
yeah. A lot of their front tire is rubbing my back tire, and I'm like, shit,
fuck,
here we go.
Yep,
yeah, and then
yep.
they like pull you over, and you end up in a guy's lawn. That was always a big lawn, and the dad would come out like, get off my lawn, and you're like, sorry, but you were
think
also
that's
glad to
good.
see him.
And that is a good experience. That I remember playing basketball in the Bronx.
Oof.
And there was probably like 3 white kids on the team.
Yeah.
It was me, this like Russian kid named Jiro.
Who's tougher than a Russian, by the way?
And this
my
kid,
God.
he was smaller but lights out, could shoot it like none other. And then the coach's son, who was not very good. And we walked into this place, and he had on a brand new pair of Jordans.
Oh God, here we go.
Crispy white, clearly like never played in them. And we're walking in, and these are grown. We're probably like, this is like 7th grade basketball.
Oh, God.
We walk in, and the opposing fans, like the parents, were like, you better live up to them Jordans, boo. And that was kind of our, like, I wasn't like, we're going to get knocked out here, but it was like, we are going to get clowned and embarrassed on this basketball court.
Oh, yeah,
but
you
we
knew
could
it was
kind of hold it.
coming.
But we would have, like, always kind of earned the respect. Because
Sure.
there was a reason why we were the only couple white kids on the team we could kind of play.
Yeah.
And so that was like, by the end of it, a little, we got our doors blown off here.
Yeah.
But,
At
a little
least you
bit of
played
respect.
a game. And
Yeah,
you held
we got
your
there.
own.
I mean, the only time I got my nose popped once.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Yeah, so I was it was an 8th grade fight. It was as dramatic and fictional as a real life fight could be.
Who was she?
It was,
Come on.
So my friend was fighting this one other kid. It was like the Jets and the Sharks because it was just 2 guys fighting, but the rest of the friends had to get involved.
Sure,
and,
sure.
And a couple older kids orchestrated this because they just
boy.
wanted to watch the younger kids fight. It was like literally like meet me at at Prospect Hill School.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to one of the elementary schools. It was raining, pouring rain. Like we're gonna fight in the rain. And these 2 guys like square off. They start to fight, and then it was just like grab whoever's near you, right? So I end up fighting this kid named Animal. That was his nickname. Not the kid you want to fight, right?
White kid?
Yes, white kid. T-Rex arms though.
Oh, boy.
Short, stocky, nickname Animal. And I grabbed him, kind of did a headlock and a pow.
Mm-hmm.
It was really the first time I ever like really landed a punch, so I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
And I got him in the eyebrow, so it's split and he's bleeding. Everything scuffles up, right? And then it stops, like it dies down.
Yeah.
And he's the one who's got like blood, and he's kind of like running his mouth. And this older kid's like, "Look, you got fucked up, man."
Oh,
like,
boy.
And he was like, "I don't even know who did this to me. It just kind of happened in the scrum."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "I'm getting credit for this shit." So I was like, "It was me, bro." Which leads to round 2, and round 2 did not go well for me.
Oh, really?
That was when it was like, okay, now we're squaring off and fighting. And again, Animal, T-Rex arms.
Yeah.
I'm tall and lanky. I should have,
Yeah.
but I don't know how to do that.
No,
so
no.
ding, ding, ding. I just kind of like go in for the,
Yeah.
and he got on top of me and we just whap.
Oh,
whap,
no.
whap. And I would have been,
That's
it
the
would
worst.
have been lights out for me if my friend Keith came in and kicked him in the ribs.
Oh, all right,
and
Keith.
it was like a guardian angel because I'm down like this and I just see a foot come swinging in.
Oh, yeah.
Thank God. But my nose got popped up pretty good. That was like the last time I was in it. And then bar scraps here and there. But
Yeah, yeah.
when I retired from fighting, we were when I hung it up.
Yeah.
We spilled out of Tonic on the east side.
Oh, I know Tonic.
Tonic on like 30th and 3rd, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Had a few makeouts in that bar.
Oh yeah, that was a big like the bouncer would be like, "You got to go home, dude. You're basically fingering her.
Yes,
like, enough's
yes.
enough."
And then you
Again,
go like
back
this.
when you had to meet a girl at the bar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we poured out of this bar fighting. It was almost like a cartoon scuffle where there's dust and
Yeah, yeah.
And when it all settled, my buddy had me in a headlock. We were like fighting each other. And I was like, "Yeah, I think we're too old for this."
That's
shit.
why I don't
It's
do
over.
orgies. You know, you get a scuffle, then all of a sudden your buddy's in your ass.
Have you ever engaged in group activity? In that
I've had
regard?
2 threesomes,
Two
in
threesomes?
my young
Good
stint.
for you,
Yeah,
Mark
one
Normand.
was unbelievable. One was like a movie. It was unbelievable. One was the most awkward, weirdest night ever.
Was it always you and 2 girls?
Yeah. Oh no, I've actually had a couple devil's threesomes.
Have you?
College, being a guy, we're pretty close.
Apparently.
Yeah. and
Was
then-
it was one end, one end?
Yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
ever engages in the full blown.
And he had a
Two guys.
huge
Did he?
dong,
Did he?
which
You
was
were
a
getting
real
shown up?
bummer. Yeah. So I'd be getting blown usually.
Yeah. That's not so bad.
No, it's a win.
Plus, if he's got a big piece, it's, when you watch your porn, you want to see someone with a.
True.
So
yeah.
you're getting a good show. You don't want to. If you're getting blown and the guy's on the other end, he's got a tiny cock. You don't want that. Come on. Yeah, you probably do.
I
You
get
probably
off
do.
on that, compare and you will feel better with a small dick. But yeah. I'm not saying I'm tiny, but this guy was just like, he was an animal.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
just had a real hog on him, and
You
we had some good nights.
I think you surprised me. I wouldn't think you'd be a multiple threesome guy.
Well, hey, if it's on the table, I'll take it. I
Sure.
wasn't really seeking it out.
Did you orchestrated somebody, they came to you sort of thing?
I was hooking up with a gal once, and she was like, "My friend's in town. We should call her." I was like, "All right, whatever." And they had a hotel room, and she came by, and they were into that. So they were pros, not prostitutes, but I mean they were
pro
just
threesome.
like, yeah.
And they just rocked your world.
Oh my God, it was
Because
unbelievable.
I'm always worried about, I got one dick, 2 of you. I can barely last long enough for one of you. Now I gotta last for both of you.
Well, the oral they were doing with each other,
yeah,
and
I feel like there's a lot of recovery time. There's a lot of moving parts.
Yes. Oh man, it was so hot.
And
I mean,
what went
just-
wrong in the bad threesome?
The bad threesome was I was on a date with this girl, and she was like, "I'm just letting you know I'm not going to sleep with you." I was like, "All right, well, what are you going to do?" And then
How old are you at this point?
I was probably like, I don't know, 20.
Okay.
And I was like, "All right, well, I was on a weird date." And then this other gal hits me up or whatever. I had a little flippy thing, and I was like, "Well, this gal wants to meet, so I'm gonna go
telling me
meet
you're not
with
gonna
her."
fuck, but-
Yeah, and she was like, "I don't believe it," and I'm going with you. And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" So she was a little kooky, and I go to this gal's house, and I was like, "Hey, I got some weird trollop here."
A bird in the hand, brother.
Yeah.
And I got this one tagging along.
So she reveals that she's into women now, and I'm like, "Oh, well, hey." And then the other gal is obviously up for any Tom,
time,
Dick,
yeah.
or Lucy, and so they start going at it, and then I get pulled in, and now so I'm just kind of fooling with the gal who likes me, and she's on the side doing other stuff to the gal, licking a nip and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it wasn't great because she was like, "Get away from me, ball bag," but I'll take old Gash over here.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was a lot of like, "Oops, sorry, let me get out of here. I'm just gonna get to her."
Isn't it so funny though? It's like, and God bless them again, girls, and what they value. But it's like, as soon as you told her that someone else was ready to fuck you, it's like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute. Now my interest
Right.
is a little more piqued here. And maybe
Exactly.
she wanted the chick too, but you elevated in her mind, all
Yes.
because someone else.
Women are attracted to a guy that other women are attracted to.
Yeah, we do a question and answer the internet. We're about to pop over and do it. Would you rather sleep with a bunch of models, or be known? You don't sleep with a bunch of models, but you're known. Everyone believes that you are that guy.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I would always take
the knowing
the
you're
known
that guy.
because forget about sex.
Yeah.
That opens doors everywhere.
Right.
Like you walk into a room and everyone thinks that you're a DiCaprio type guy. You're a man of mystery. You're getting on podcasts. You're getting free drinks. Your
Interesting.
doors are opening. You're getting offers.
And you don't have to disappoint 10 models.
Absolutely.
What the hell am I bringing to the table?
And maybe you don't get to bang models in this weird hypothetical world, but other women thinking that you do sleep with models, they're gonna fuck you.
Interesting. We got a lady right here. What do you think?
If you find out that a guy is known, yeah, right, exactly.
Always makes it hotter.
It's crazy.
Interesting. I like the honesty there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I'll go with your thing.
Thank
I'll
you.
go with
Thank you.
are these plus size models or?
Well, nowadays, I feel like the fact that they call them plus size models is almost flying in the face of they should just be called models, no?
Yeah, it's all topsy-turvy because they go, "Hey, don't objectify women." But look how beautiful these plus size women are. Like, well, so
Yeah.
how come you can objectify that? You're just showing me
Right.
that you don't actually believe they're attractive. If I hung up a creepy calendar in my cubicle with big tittied swimsuit models, and you were like, "What are you doing, you pig?" And I was like, "They're trans." They'd go, "Hey, good for you, good for
beautiful.
you."
Yeah.
So you're like, "Well, how come I'm still not a pig? You don't treat
Right.
them equally, you psychos."
Right.
But yeah, that's a big, weird kind of bullshit thing we do in
Yep.
this country.
I also feel like I was saying if everything is going to be gender fluid, is there even like gay and straight and this
That's
anymore?
another
It's
interesting
like,
one.
Well, why are we even putting
Yeah.
labels on it, and why does it have to even
Right.
have a name?
It's a
And
great point.
We're all just gonna bang at each other.
And people are like, "All right, Dick, what do you do?" I'm like, "I just want to understand. You keep
Right.
giving me all these different
I don't know the rules.
Yeah, I can't
and,
keep up.
And I'm trying not to get canceled
Yes,
or embarrassed
yes.
or whatever, so I don't know what to say or how to say it. So fucking help me out here, man.
When I was a kid, one of my friends was super religious, like church and all that. His dad was obsessed with God, and you can't say the Lord's name. And
Oh,
if I would
jeez.
question heaven, I'm like, "So wait, I'm like 9. Like, so wait, heaven is perfect, but then your family's there. That doesn't seem so great. And can you get laid?" He's like, "No, it's heaven." I'm like,
Well, that doesn't sound perfect.
Yeah, and he'd be like, "Shut up, shut up,"
Right.
and that's what they do. They just go like, "Hey, shut up, you racist," or whatever. You're like,
Right.
"I just want to figure it out, you fucking
Just asking
kook."
a question, man.
Yeah.
You don't even have a single answer for me?
Yes, and why are you so mad about that? Why do you flip a switch when I talk
Well,
about
because
this
they got
shit?
fucked by that priest, man, and they have to justify it somehow.
Yeah.
You think that when we're dead, you're in the dirt and that's it?
Yeah,
Just
dirt,
goes black
that's it.
and you're gone.
And I think that's a good thing. That shows life is finite. You got to live it up while you're here. Don't deal with the petty shit. Don't sweat all the small things, because we're all going to die one day.
I could get down with some reincarnation, though.
Nah.
I think I'd like you get one to grow on. You build on it.
But you're not going to know anyway.
Yeah,
So,
but I
it's
think.
pointless.
Well, I also like anytime something goes bad, somebody says to me, like, well, you're paying for, you fucked up in a past life, so
Sure.
now you're gonna pay for it. So then I'm like, well, maybe the next one will be good then. I'm
Yeah,
paying
next
for it
life
now.
you'll be a IUD or something. just getting hit with dicks.
You just want it to be dead in the dirt. See you later.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. People say, "Oh, that's so sad. We're just done." It's like, yeah, that's it. I mean, we look at heaven as this after party. I'm like, no. If you have an after party, you're not gonna have as much fun as the real party.
So true. You're always it's like to wrap it up, man. It's like everything you're saying.
This
is
it.
You're always looking for more, always waiting for heaven, then you fucking don't live up the life, man.
If you go on a vacation to what's a nice place on Earth, the fucking Amalfi Coast.
That's what I was gonna say.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, how about that?
It's like the only place I've been. That's why.
I've been there too. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But you're on the Isle of Capri. You got this beautiful woman. You're on the sand, and you go, "Damn, we're leaving in 4 days. We got to soak this up." But if you were there forever, it would just become.
It's not a vacation. It's just life.
It's just life now.
Yes.
It's boring.
Yes.
So the end is what makes it special.
Yes.
And we're trying to get away from that. You can't eat ice cream. You want a big giant bucket of ice cream, a 5-gallon drum? No, then it's no good. It's that little scoop.
The end is what makes it special.
The end is special.
That is some prophetic shit. That's some thoughtful stuff. I like it, man. You're a surprise in a lot of ways, I feel like, Mark Norman. I mean, I feel like when I first got to know you and your work and interview, I feel like you were like a comedy nerd, if you will.
Big nerd. Big comedy nerd.
But then also, like, you're a cool cat, man.
Oh, thanks.
You're
I'm
having
a thinker.
threesomes, you're fighting, you're living it up at the bar, throwing hands. You ride bikes, right?
I got a little hog outside, yeah.
Yeah, you got the motorcycle going, you got the pretty girl, you're funny as fuck.
Ah, jeez.
And you're not a Jew.
I know, I win in every race. No, but I wish I was Jewish. At least Jews have a little flavor.
That would be your umph. That would be your umph.
That would be some well, Jews don't...
Jewish comedy is always that always plays.
Sure, I mean, they invented the art form, but I don't feel like Jews get their... Are you Jewish? Okay. I don't feel like Jews get their day in court with the oppression. It's like
they got it worse than anybody, but they...
Yeah, but they look white, so nobody cares.
True.
And they're successful, but they had to build that success.
That's the problem. It's like, are we going to cry for you? You run... Well, I'm going to get myself in trouble here. But, they control the weather, for God's sake.
I know, they're doing very well. Yeah, the weather, the media, the banks, real estate, yeah. But... They handle it quite well, when this Palestine shit kicked up again, I saw a lot of Jew hate, and nobody cares. Like, Nick Cannon got a slap on the wrist, I guess, but like...
Nick Cannon is hilarious.
He's got 10 kids now or something crazy. Child abuse.
We're spiraling. We're about to get in a lot of trouble, so we're calling it.
I'm helping the children. You're ruining these kids' lives. You're just fucking all these skanks and knocking them up, and now you're having all these extra kids you can't take care of. Get it together. And where's the canceling on that shit?
Oh, man.
I have 9 kids. I got to take care. Well, why'd you have 9 kids? How about that?
Let it out, Mark. Let it out.
Sorry.
So what do we got?
You can't tell the truth.
We got the special still going. We want to get to 7 million, right?
Yes.
So we got to go. Mark Normand is on. Is the channel's called? On YouTube?
Yeah, Mark Normand.
Normand.
Here's the goal. The YouTube. I mean, the Netflix is coming out, so I'd like to get to 7 million before that comes out. That's just my dumb little OCD
so we're gonna
thing.
Subscribe to Mark Normand on YouTube. Go watch the special. It's at 6.9 million. Out to Lunch is the one. And we got the Netflix special, which will drop around October, you said? Halloween, you said?
Late October, early November.
And follow on all things social media. One of the funniest fucking guys in the world, man. It really... I mean, if you are into comedy and jokes and the whole art form, you are the one, dude. So
hey, come on, that is too nice. If I could take a compliment, I would. And
but we don't know how to. It's all good.
Yeah. So I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks for watching. Make sure that you click that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, and leave a comment below. I'll chop it up with you in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about today's episode, as well as what you want to hear in the future.